fresh charge, and we can take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
This hour is brought to you by the Harnish Auto family.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
Styled by Simply Seattle.
And Brooke Ewart. And Brooke Ewart.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewart and Mike Salk.
Let's get this thing underway. Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com, and the Seattle Sports app, plus all the podcast platforms. You know who you are and how you're listening. You can also listen on 97.3 HD2. I should mention that as well. Today could be a fun day. Could have been anyway. Today could be all about the Seahawks reporting for camp, first practice tomorrow, and in some ways it will be. Certainly we'll be talking about it at 7:30. I got some rapid fire. It'll be part of Need to Know. It'll be Blue 88. We've got the number 14 most intriguing Seahawk. There are a lot of fun things to discuss with the Seahawks full of hope and promise and a new day dawning as they report for training camp today. Veterans will be in the building. No real problems expected. No new injuries. No holdouts. No nothing. Just hope. Just waiting to see what this roster will look like under some new head coaching. So today could be a lot of fun.
I was going to ask you, you have a good morning, Mike. So it's good to see you back.
It's nice to see you back, Justin. You were missed.
You have a great Hope Springs Eternal spring training thing. Do you have a training camp one?
Not really. Okay. It's different because it also comes with the dawn of bad weather and everything else.
Oh, so, you hate that because it signals again to summer.
I mean, I love football, and football season's exciting, but it was like 68 degrees here yesterday, which is just a non-starter. It's a non-serious temperature for July 22nd, sort of like the non-serious lineup that the Mariners threw out there last night. And I did want to transition because while I said today could be about some of those fun, hopeful, exciting things, it's not, unfortunately, because your Mariners have robbed us of that joy. They have. They've robbed us of some of that joy. And I'm not willing to just turn the page. This isn't a team that's 10 games below 500, and you say, thank God the Seahawks are here, we can move on. This isn't that. It's not. This is a team that is still within a game or two of first place. They're just playing like absolute dog crap. They're playing terrible baseball. And yesterday, while it is the one that got Scott, it's the one that got Brock, and you'll hear from him at 7 o'clock. To me, it wasn't about yesterday. It's about what we've seen over the course of the last month plus, these 10 series in a row that have gone from bad to worse to, quite frankly, hard to watch. So what happened? This whole thing started as kind of a downturn and a losing streak. It turned into a meltdown. And honestly, by the end of the game last night, I was chuckling in sadness. Last night was sad. It was. The lineup you rolled out was sad. The bullpen options were sad. The defensive play from Robles at the end was sad. And then something about the way they just went down without even a fight in the ninth inning was perhaps the lowest moment. And if you're wondering why Scott was fighting back tears, if you're wondering why Brock is going to come in here, if he's anything like he was on his text string last night, then God help all of us. Brock is on fire.
He didn't sleep.
I barely slept. I was tossing and turning. I really struggled to fall asleep last night. May have had some artificial chemical help when it was all said and done because I couldn't sleep. Needed it. It's like, what is going on? And I'm sure Scott, Jerry, Justin, and a whole lot of other people were feeling the same way last night. Scott was not in a good place.
You've been looking for somebody to step up and just kind of say, hey, enough of this. I mean, you're doing it now, but do you need a guy in there to say, hey, enough of this, we got to do something different because it just hasn't been working right now?
Mm-hmm. It all depends where we want to be 60 days or 60 games from now. Want to be playing playoff baseball or you want to be driving home?
I mean, that says it pretty clearly. How do you want to play? How do you want this to go? Yeah, I went over to the ballpark yesterday. I wanted to see what it was like. I'll tell you a little bit more about it at 6:30 and what I felt and saw down there as Ty France was meeting with the media and kind of saying his goodbyes. Yeah. Was J.P. Crawford upset? According to Adam Jude, he was. Which to me is freaking laughable. I can't, of all the things I've heard this year, that might be the dumbest. JP's upset that Ty France was cut. JP, do you have eyes? What did you expect to happen? This is the thing that just drives me absolutely bonkers at times. And this is why you should never listen to players when you're a GM. Don't listen to what they have to say. If I understand the argument correctly from the players, in this case JP, the argument is, please go get me better players, but I don't have to produce. And if my friends don't produce, give them forever to turn it around. 2 years isn't enough time. What does JP want? How long are the Mariners supposed to give Ty France? What's the right amount of time for your buddy? Do you have every right to be bummed out when your guy is gone? Of course. But come on. You got to understand it from somebody else's perspective. And oh, by the way, JP, and I'm sorry you hurt your finger last night. That stinks. If you were performing at even a fraction of the level you had last year, you might not be in this mess. And I'm sure that the frustration of his own game bleeds out because a lot of us displace our anger. When we're mad at one thing, we take it out on another. And it's entirely possible to me that JP's mad at himself and he's taking it out on Ty being released. I get it. That stinks. Your buddy's going to be gone. I hate it too. But your buddy's not the same player he was 2 years ago when he was an all-star. He's a shell of that. And maybe he'll go to Boston or Houston, two teams that appear to maybe be interested, and maybe that'll change things. And was yesterday awkward? Yeah, and I'm going to go through why at 6:30. I don't think the Mariners handled this the best way, but I totally understand why they did it the way they did, but it backfired on them. And I'll kind of explain why at 6:30. It is confusing. And yes, I got it a little wrong yesterday, so I had to do a little question asking last night to understand why they went through this waiver process rather than the DFA. And the reason makes sense. And if you were a business person, you'd do it this way too. And there's a way for every Mariner fan to say, yep, I'm glad they did it that way. But also to be like, you got to be kidding me. Like you're taking too big a chance with ruining and messing up the way this team handles its business in the clubhouse. So there was a team meeting, we think, after the game last night, as there needed to be. Bad baseball. I don't know what, I mean, you want to talk about something that was hard to watch last night? The hitting, obviously. I mean, it's like in its own category of atrocity. What was going on with Ryan Stanek? And I don't just
has been going.
I don't just mean the four. I don't mean the two walks. The walks were terrible. Don't get me wrong. To come into the game in the 8th inning with a 1-run lead and immediately walk two batters is on 9 pitches is I don't even know what to say about that. He looked like he was throwing like a little leaguer, and I don't mean like playing little league baseball to insult him. I mean he looked like he had to like heave the ball in order to generate velocity.
Yeah, he looks
which
like
I've
a guy
never
who
seen him do before.
Has been going through something and probably maybe shouldn't have been out there, but had to be.
After one pitch,
yeah,
I would have honestly, no joke, I would have said, "I'm sorry, that doesn't look right. You're out." And I know you can't just remove a guy because you don't like the way he's pitching, but I would have said, "You look hurt. That's not who you are." I've seen Ryan Stanek pitch for years. I've never seen him look like he had to like he was heaving a shot put. What was that?
Right, and
he looked awful.
You know, the 3-batter rule thing there was going through everybody's head.
Of course it was, but I mean, if he's hurt, then he's hurt. This has that feeling of Stanek goes on the IL today. Well, if he needed to go on the IL, and we'll see whether or not he does, then he shouldn't have been in the game after one pitch. He clearly wasn't right. One pitch. And then Thornton, 2 outs, you walk 2. I mean, what are we doing? What are we watching? Some of those things are just, they're unacceptable. And Scott, obviously incredibly upset afterwards. I'll play you more of the sound here throughout the morning, and for good reason. There are games like yesterday where a team doesn't have much in the lineup. There are. Almost every team goes through it at some point in the season, seriously, where you roll out a lineup and everyone kind of looks at each other like, that's the lineup? That's who's in there? And when you've, removed a guy from your lineup who's been in there for the better part of, 5 years in Ty France, and you take Julio out, and you've got a lefty on the hill, so you're not putting in Luke Raley, and Rojas still has to play against the lefty because that's kind of where you're at right now, and Victor Robles is hitting second because he's the only good hitter currently on your team. Yeah, you have that moment where you're like, well, if they win with this lineup, it's going to be a freaking miracle. And because of that, I'm watching that game yesterday, and I frankly didn't expect much more than one run. I really didn't. You were going to have to win that game 1-0, maybe 2-1. That was the way it was going to be. So I wasn't as mad about the hitting yesterday as I could have been because I felt like, all right, this is one of those games. And I'm going to guess Scott knew the lineup he put out there. I don't think he was mad because they only scored one run. Honestly, I really don't. I think he's mad because they didn't do everything in their power to overcome that. They didn't find a way to manufacture. They didn't find a way to limit the runs the other team was able to score. You can't give gifts in a situation where you don't have all of your own resources. You're missing Julio. Your guys are slumping. You've got lefties in against a lefty that you don't want to play. JP gets hurt in the first inning of the game. You're not who you want to be in that game. Okay, fine. 2 years ago, when they went on their great run and won all those games in a row, they were down. Remember that? Julio was suspended. JP was suspended. Other guys were hurt. Sam Haggerty stepped up. Dylan Moore stepped up. Everybody stepped up for a portion of that run and said, hey, we are not whole. We are not complete. We are going to play great baseball to make up for it. And they did by staying within themselves, but giving everything they had. And you didn't see that last night. You just flat out didn't. You get Jonathan Clase on and you can't move him? The fastest guy in the team? I mean, there was bad baseball. There were things that you can't do when you are down, when you don't have all of your resources available. And I'm going to guess that's what got Scott. Going quietly the way they did without even making noise. I'm going to guess that's what ended up getting him. We'll come back. We'll give you guys everything you need to know. I got a lot more sound to play from yesterday and a full explanation, I think, for how this whole Ty France thing went down, why it makes sense and why it doesn't. It's all coming up on Brock and Salk.
Get the national perspective on the Mariners.
Swing and a miss and a slider, strike three.
With Jeff Passan, Tuesday mornings at 8:30.
I don't think that it is unrealistic to believe that they have the talent and the ability to win a championship with this team.
And John Morosi, Thursdays at 5 p.m.
Their DNA remains intact. This is a rotation-dependent team.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
I don't want to dig up my yard if I don't have to. That's why I hired O'Neill Plumbing. They're Seattle's trenchless plumbing pros. All rooter, all trenchless, always professional. O'Neill Plumbing. Since 1917.
Lexus is electrified, and the first ever RZ450E has the performance and range to get you where you need to go with the exclusive Lexus Direct 4 all-wheel drive technology. Lexus of Bellevue has over 50 RZs available for immediate delivery with electrifying savings. Up to $18,500 lease cash on every RZ450E. Visit LexusofBellevue.com.
On approval of credit through LFS, lease cash from Lexus available on select 2024 RZ styles. Must take delivery by July 31st, 2024. A documentary service fee up to $200 may be added to the purchase price or capitalized costs. See dealership for details.
You're free now. Free to fill your feed with impossibly chunky chunkers who chunk harder than you ever thought possible.
Cats, corgis, babies, baby penguins, baby pandas, chunky baby pandas.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things. Free to open a world of remote work and a portal into Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine, and then some. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service in select locations only.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The 2024 Seahawks season is almost here. Get fitted for game days with jerseys, caps, and tees, including the 2024 training camp collection. Visit the Seahawks Pro Shop at the Landing in Renton and Lumen Field, or online at Seahawks.com/Pro Shop.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Derek Jeter as the pinch hitter for your baseball team.
Jeter, you're in. We need a home run.
I'll give it a try. I've swung a bat once or twice.
That's out of here. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Because comfort keeps us going. So grab your family, your friends, and your Wrangler layers for some fresh air adventures together. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Listen throughout the week to the Mariners Players Spotlight.
Ever since I got here, I want to win a World Series in Seattle, and this city's starving for another winning team.
Presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. You can find Active Liver at Amazon.com or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. Or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Go to new, NORDICUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS.
There's an old saying that a house is not a home, but the Mariners house, T-Mobile Park, is home to an awful lot. Home to plays you can't believe.
Right shot, diving catch. Holy smokes, what a play by Crawford.
Home to 6-foot salmon that don't swim, they sprint. And even home to hot dogs that fall from heaven. Hallelujah.
Everybody likes free food just falling from the sky.
Oh, yeah. And it's also home to 47,000 screaming faithful.
We have a sellout crowd. I mean, the folks are up there in the rafters.
T-Mobile Park is our house. Mariners fans make it our home. Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
Don't miss this week's AOS showdown against the Angels at T-Mobile Park. The series continues tonight at 6:40 and tomorrow afternoon at 12:40. Plus, check out all the other great matchups and events on deck for this summer, like the Mariners Drone Show on August 2nd against the Phillies, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Get your tickets today at Mariners.com.
This hour is brought to you by the Harnish Auto family.
Need to know. Brought to you by Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Look, every team is going to have a few games per year where they throw out what looks like a non-serious lineup, a combination of circumstances. And last night, that was the Mariners, an already struggling lineup. You take out even more punch from it. No Julio, no Ty France. And one inning in, they had to replace J.P. Crawford with Luke Raley. So, yeah, it was not perfect to start. The results offensively were predictable. 1 run in the first inning, and then a whole lot of nothing. 14 strikeouts, barely any pressure, no clutch hitting when they actually had a couple of opportunities. And yet somehow that wasn't the whole story, because what happened on the other side of it, I think, is what caused so much pain. Tough luck for Bryce Miller. He was brilliant for 7 shutout innings, but then Stanek walked 2 in the 8th, 1 scored. Thornton walked 2 in the 9th. And then this.
Thornton ready, kicks, delivers, swinging a ground ball up the middle into center field for a base hit. Drury to third, being waved in. Up with the ball, Robles. The throw to the plate, way up the third base line. The ball gets away from Cal. Drury scores. Here comes Neto, rounding third, heading home. He's going to score. The ball is loose up the first base side. Backing up is Thornton. He gets to the ball along the first base line, but 2 runs are in. And Joe Adell, after all that, winds up on at third base.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Adell's been killing them now for the entirety of their season series, but I think more importantly, the way that whole thing looked, whether it's the double clutch by Robles, whether it was the throw that kicks up the line just a little bit, Cal then knocking it away and allowing another run to score, which made the whole thing insurmountable. It just, when you kick the ball around in addition to your walks, in addition to your anemic offense, it's impossible to win against a bad team like the Angels. Honestly, it's a bad team. And I'll keep saying it. It's a Mickey Mouse franchise. It's a bad team. And they've now beaten you in 4 straight games because you've been handing them those games. Well, Scott was angry after the game, and he was asked why.
You've shown a lot of patience with what you've seen. Why tonight?
Because I'm tired of watching it. Stand up for our guys. Believe in them. Some nights, that's not Major League Baseball. We handed them a game.
I mean, that's said about as simply as you can possibly say it. I stand up for my guys. I'm sick of watching it. That's not Major League Baseball. And he's right. 4 walks in the final 2 innings, not Major League Baseball. Throwing the ball around in a key moment in the 9th inning or 8th inning, 9th inning, that is not Major League Baseball. And some of the at-bats that we saw last night, not Major League Baseball. So, Mariners have lost 4 straight to the Angels. They're going to need Logan and Castillo to come up huge over the next 2 nights in order to avoid losing 9 of 10 series, except those guys have all been coming up big. They have a quality start in every game, and unfortunately, the offense has not been able to take the mantle. Hopefully, maybe something sparks after the frustration last night.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
It looks like it really will be goodbye for Ty France. Not until this weird limbo state is over, though. He will likely be claimed or released, but for now he remains on the active roster. He was eligible to play last night. He was in uniform, though. He did clean out his locker and say goodbye after the game. Here was Ty.
Yeah, a little caught off guard, but, I mean, I understand at the end of the day it's business and, not performing to the best of my abilities, so anything, could happen.
Yeah, it's been kind of an interesting road for Ty, who had some immediate success when he first got here, became an all-star, became a fixture near the top of this lineup with tremendous bat-to-ball skills, lots of hit-by pitches to help him get on base, but last couple of years have been really rough, and he will now try to start somewhere else. Boston and Houston, 2 teams that have been mentioned as possibilities for Mr. France. Still waiting on Julio's MRI, but the Mariners did call up infielder Jason Vossler yesterday and sent Ryan Bliss back down. Vossler does have some Major League experience, I believe, in Cincinnati. Having a pretty good season in Tacoma. He's supposed to be a good hitter, but I don't know whether that's going to translate. And certainly I don't see that as being something that salvages an offense that has quite clearly not been anywhere close to what it needs to be.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Finally, everybody should be in town and ready to go. Seahawks practice starts tomorrow as reporting day is today. No holdouts expected, no major drama, no significant injuries outside of some of the bumps and bruises that we already know about that's going to keep both linebackers and Abe Lucas out at least to start camp. But all pretty much good news and all systems go. Adam Schefter reporting yesterday, former Dolphins and Cowboys guard and center Connor Williams scheduled to meet with the Seahawks today. Coming off a torn ACL, suffered in week 14 of last season, but he's supposed to be a really good player when he's healthy. Started all 17 games for Miami in 22, but was hurt and only got to play in 9 last year. NFL Network is starting their countdown now that we've done the ESPN countdown, and they had numbers 81 through 100 in their top 10 list yesterday, and they were a bunch of Seahawks, 3 of them. DK Metcalf number 84. Tariq Woolen, number 91. And Julian Love just cracked the top 100. He was at 95.
Seahawks safety Julian Love is aging like a fine wine. In his 5th season, Love had the best year of his career in 2023.
That's Julian Love hitting people. And again, that's more Julian Love hitting people.
Stafford rolling, batted down.
And that's Julian Love batting down a pass.
Getting love in Seattle. No love lost.
Oh, and some love puns thrown in there as well. Julian's got to be very proud. Anyway, Tariq Woolen seemed kind of like weirdly... That's everything you need to know. Was Tariq kind of weirdly antagonistic about it? So he dropped 15 spots. Well, no kidding. He had a lousy year, certainly compared to the year before. He comes in at, 91? And then he got a little chippy, like, oh, well, yeah, this means something because the players and the coaches say it, unlike the fans.
Right, because he was responding to somebody's tweet about
making
being
fun
afraid
of
to
him for not
tackle or
tackling.
something. Yeah. Like, I guess your opinion doesn't matter. I'm still on the list is the point.
That doesn't seem like a great plan. I'm just going to say, like, if you want to be the guy who's antagonistic to fans, you can be. It seems easier not to be as a player, right? I mean, as somebody who can occasionally be antagonistic to his own listeners, I totally understand where he might be coming from. But I would tell him that as a player, it feels like it would be a lot easier to ignore some of that noise and kind of be more like happy with the fans and endear yourself rather than fight with them. But hey.
Yeah, celebrate the tweets that are congratulating you instead of argue with the ones.
As I said, the pot, the kettle, I totally get it. I am not going to be giving him life advice on whether or not to be a heel because it can be kind of fun at times.
Pot and kettle and bathtub, apparently, after what I heard yesterday.
What was that?
I don't know.
What was that?
I heard a weird comment from Brock.
That was super
I was
weird,
getting
right?
texts about it on my drive back from Montana, and I'm like, it must have been weird if I'm getting separate
Dude,
texts.
How weird was that? I started to say something yesterday, and Brock was like, oh, I thought you were going to say that's why we don't take a bath together. No, I wasn't going to say that because I would never say that because obviously we don't take baths together. I've been working with that man for 15 years. That might be the strangest thing he said in the entirety of that time. And he said some really weird stuff.
True.
He is very repressed.
Yeah.
But that is clearly the weirdest thing he said in our whole relationship.
All right.
15 years plus.
We're late. That was weird.
Okay, it was really, really, really weird. All right. I'll tell you what. We got an expanded time here. I want to go through all of the sound from Scott yesterday to really hear the passion and why he's so upset. And I want to try to work through what happened with Ty France yesterday, why he was put on waivers, why that makes sense from the Mariner team perspective, why it could help them in another week, but also why it was really, really, really stupid. All of that next on Brock and Salk.
The Dugout. Go in depth with the Mariners.
Goodbye, baseball.
With voices like Rick Riz, Aaron Goldsmith, and Dave Sims.
This is a club that has the ability to go on another run. You never know when a team is going to get hot.
This team's window is wide open. Hear from the players and coaches and go behind the scenes with insider Shannon Dreyer.
We are seeing him comfortable with where he is at the plate. We're seeing a guy that has his timing.
The Dugout. Tuesdays at 1 p.m. on Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here. I do want to brag about my buddies at Riverside Roofing for a moment here. They just closed this huge deal over on the east side, and I'm super proud, but also not surprised, right? This speaks to the trust and reputation that Riverside Roofing has established throughout the market with their exceptional work, their honesty, and positive word of mouth. That's why they are the roofing company that you can trust. And they can kind of do anything. I've seen them handle any roof, any job. They worked at my house and did an awesome, awesome job there. They're certified Tesla roof installers, if that's a direction you're looking to go. So look, just go to riversideroofingllc.com. You can get a free quick quote there on your roofing project. It won't even take you 60 seconds. But honestly, don't wait. This is the super busy season for roofers, and you're going to want to get your project scheduled now while there's still some time and some space. So consider Riverside Roofing for your roofing project this summer. They're family-owned. They serve all of Western Washington. They have veterans discounts. They have referral bonuses. So, yeah, go to riversideroofingllc.com. They are the roofing company you can trust.
Are you putting off your new kitchen plans? Why wait? Hi, Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Call today and ask about our trade-in sale. Years of experience, thousands of happy customers. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600 or heritagehomecraft.com.
Want to listen to Seattle sports on your smart speaker?
Hey, smart speaker, play Seattle sports.
This message is powered by the EQC Sportsbook at Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Summer's here and it's time for you to put yourself in the game. But you don't have to do it alone. Come visit the incredible showroom and the all-star team at Toyota of Kirkland. With a large selection of over 70 brand new Tundras and Tacomas on the lot, you'll be able to test drive one and take it home the same day. And don't forget about that lifetime powertrain warranty. Now that's how you become the MVP. Come in today or visit online at toyotaofkirkland.com. toyotaofkirkland.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards that zero-turn lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its edge-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
We expect our information in real time. US Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 888-665-0696 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check as easy as... That's 888-665-0696.
The Mariners are all about giving you more baseball for your buck. Snag seats for as little as $10 on select dates all season long with Mariners Value Games. Plus, be sure to check out the Mariners Value Menu, available at every game and featuring 11 items priced from $2.50 to $4. Enjoy ballpark classics like hot dogs and peanuts, new treats like churros and chocolate chip cookies, and more. To get your value game tickets and check out all the value options at T-Mobile Park, go to mariners.com/value.
For heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical emergencies, don't fear, call Deere. No service fees and we'll be there within 3 hours. Visit DEARservices.net.
After years of wear and tear, Joe had osteoarthritis in his wrists and shoulders.
I've pretty much worked out my whole life. I actually decided I'm going to train for a half Ironman triathlon.
The pain was interfering with every part of his life.
Basically, can't sleep, causing those kind of problems, very limited movement.
Joe had surgery, but it wasn't the fix he was looking for.
The doctor told me, he's like, hey, this is just going to be a partial fix. You're going to eventually need joint replacement.
That's when he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
And they're just getting better. I can basically do full motion. I don't have really any pain.
What kinds of things are you able to do now that you weren't before?
I like to golf, and it definitely has made my golf game not as painful. And sleeping. I mean, I'm sleeping better because I don't have that aching at night going on and have to roll over.
So, are you recommending this to others?
Oh, everybody I talk to. Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Yesterday was bad, more because it was the culmination of a lot of bad things that have been occurring with these Mariners here over the course of the last, 5-6 weeks now. And Scott was upset after the game, understandably so. He reacted in a way that we're not accustomed to. Generally, he, takes these things and shows an immense amount of patience. And I think he's been, that's been helpful for many, many years that they, allow the team to go up and down, and when it goes down, they don't panic, they don't yell and scream, and it's allowed for some incredible turnarounds over the last few years for this Mariner franchise. Right now, though, it feels like it's just going on in a never-ending Groundhog Day scenario where each game kind of feels similar to the game before it, and Scott knows that's not going to work.
Yeah, it's a whole team. Yeah, you got to play well. You got to score more runs. Obviously, our pitching has been the strength of our club. Our bullpen's done a nice job for the majority of the year. We have gifted them some runs lately, not just in tonight's game, but previous games. And for me, it goes back to, a situation. You got to go take it. Nobody's going to give you anything in this game. And you constantly have to be on the attack in this league. And if you're not, you let your guard down, and you don't stay with that aggressive mindset, afraid to lose, you're going to lose. And you won't make pitches, you won't make plays, you won't get hits. So, that has to change here, mindset-wise. And, it's been a rough go for us in a number of different areas, certainly offensively. The walks, they get magnified. You're giving a team opportunities, and when you do that, eventually they're going to come through, and that's what happened tonight.
So I found myself thinking of that, and I saw one of the responses somewhere, somebody saying, how can you ask them to be aggressive when so much of your offensive philosophy is built on patience? It's a fair question, and I think if Scott were asked that question himself, he would say those two things are not mutually exclusive. Oddly, in baseball, you can be aggressively patient, and I think what he means there is you can be aggressive by looking for your pitch for what you want on any given moment and going hard after that pitch. I don't think the Mariners' problem is that they take too many pitches. That is a perfectly acceptable organizational hitting philosophy to look to force a pitcher into the spots you want them to be in. The problem is when they get the pitches they want, they're not aggressively attacking them and getting hits. When you are playing with confidence, doesn't mean you're swinging at everything. It means you are locked in on the pitches you want and you aggressively spit on the pitches that you don't. That's being aggressive at the plate. I might question a little bit the aggressiveness issue with Stanek last night, and I don't think that's just what Scott was talking about. He was saying over the last few weeks the bullpen's had their problems, and he's right. I don't think Stanek's problem yesterday is that he wasn't willing to throw strikes. I think his problem yesterday is he physically could not. I don't think he had any idea where the ball was going. He was reaching back, trying to find something, and he looked like like an army man from the 50s throwing a grenade. Like, what was that? Honestly. Like, remember the little miniature army guys that you'd have all around your house when you were a kid? Yeah. They're like 2 inches tall, and you'd put them all around the house, and there was the crawling commando guy, and there was the kneeling machine gun, right? And then there was the guy who oddly was surrendering.
With his
gun in the air.
Supposed to be walking through water or something?
Oh, maybe, but it looked like he was like, all right, I surrender.
Binoculars guy.
There was, yes. But there was, do you remember the hand grenade guy? He was sort of, I don't know if you guys can see on the stream, but he was like reaching back as if to throw it like a sidearm heave. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I was looking at last night with Stanek. Like, he had reached back and was trying to come up over the top. It didn't look like his normal delivery. I don't know if he's hurt or what. Obviously came out of a game a week or so ago, so maybe he is. But I get Scott's point. You've got to aggressively attack whatever you do. Unfortunately, Robles with a double clutch and then a bad throw, you can't have it in that situation. That's not aggressive baseball. And aggressive doesn't mean wild, as Jonathan Clase learned the night before. You better be paying attention. But yeah, aggressively getting to second base and stealing a bag if that's part of your game. All of those things are not about patience. You can be patient and aggressive at the same time in the context of what Scott is trying to say there.
Yeah, I said it the other day, adversity hits in different times, and we're looking at it right now. We'll find out a lot about our club and any guys that step up. JP was out earlier in the season for a while. We had guys step up, and that's what we're going to have to need guys to do right now. So just got to be more consistent and do your job. When you come to work every day, you have a job to do, and go out and compete. You're not going to get the results every night you're looking for, but the competitiveness has got to be there. Everybody, top to bottom, that's what's going to take to overcome some adversity. We got a little adversity right now with a couple guys banged up.
I wonder what he was feeling in the dugout yesterday to make those statements. That's not something you hear from Scott a lot. So I wonder what he was feeling and sensing in that dugout last night that led to those comments. Certainly some of it is what we all saw on the field and the boo birds that were out in force at the end of the game. You could hear it pretty clearly on the broadcast and totally understandable. Watching your team score 1 run and give up 4 walks in the last 2 innings and go quietly into the night. Yes, 100% worthy of being booed. Boo! If I was there, I would have booed as well. I'm curious as to what Scott might have felt in the dugout, though, that led to that. By the way, text message, G.I. Joe is the name you're looking for. No, it's not. It's really, really not. I know what G.I. Joes are. G.I. Joes were probably 2 to 3 times the size of the little army guys.
Yeah, these are little toy soldier plastic boys.
Don't tell me what I'm thinking of. I know a G.I. Joe when I see one. This is not G.I. Joe, just the little guys.
The bazooka guy.
Yeah, kneeling guy with a mortar tube. Thank you. 570 knows what I'm talking about. Yes, that's the Army guys I'm talking about, not G.I. Joe. I know the difference. Oh, those are Transformers, Salt. No, they're not. Sheesh.
Do you think Scott was also projecting the fact that he just knew that JP's pinky had been broken and
maybe, but that's
like this is insult to injury, literally?
I don't think so.
No,
I think it was about the way that game was played and the style, like the energy level with which they played it. Yeah, he was pretty upset. I mean, again, I played this earlier, but this was Shannon asking him about why he was losing his patience.
You've shown a lot of patience with what you've seen. Why tonight?
Because I'm tired of watching it. Stand up for our guys. Believe in them. Some nights, that's how Major League Baseball. We handed them a game.
That's really the kill shot there. I mean, that's the one. I mean, you could play a lot of different pieces of sound, but there's a few things in there. First of all, you have disappointed dad. I'm tired of watching it. Right? We've talked often about Scott and dad mode. That's what dad says when I'm tired of watching this.
Followed by the 8-second stare down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And watching him, I'm not sure if it was a stare down so much as he was fighting back tears. Because what he says next, you stand up for your guys. That's right. That's part of being a major league manager. It's become even more a part of the game in the last 2 decades. A huge portion of their job is just standing up for their guys. They don't make all the decisions they made 30, 40 years ago. They don't put everybody in every position. They don't call as many plays during the game. A huge portion of being that in that job is just standing up for your guys. And I think what he's saying is, I'm standing up for my guys. There are nights when I do that over and over again, when I cover for you when you look like garbage. But how many times do you want me to stand up for you when you're not going out there and taking responsibility yourself? I'm going to play that cut one more time. That's not it. Hold on. Let me go back. Here you go.
You've shown a lot of patience with what you've seen. Why tonight?
Because I'm tired of watching it. Stand up for our guys. Believe in them.
All right, pause right there. I stand up for the guys. You believe in them, right? Like, I think that's the dad moment, right? That's when you start. Hey, look, I believe in you. I'm putting you in a position to succeed. I stand up for you when I have to.
Some nights, that's how Major League Baseball. We handed them a game.
But I'm not going to do it today because you done screwed up. I had this happen to me. I think I told you a little of it. I won't get into the details, but one of my kids did something dumb a month or 2 ago? I think I told you guys off the air. And another parent came over to me and was talking to me about something that one of my kids did. And right off the bat, you're like, okay, I'm going to stand up for my kid. Right? Like,
yeah,
hey,
of course.
You're telling me my kid did something wrong. Until I'm sure that you're right, I got my kid's back. That's my job. That's my kid. Then I found out my kid lied to me and did the wrong thing. And she was at fault. And now you're like, well, that's not appropriate behavior. Probably the most trouble she's been in so far. Right? Because you can't do that. You can't put the person who's got your back into a position of defending you when you've done something indefensible.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Right? And I think that's what hurts Scott so badly there and why he sounds as upset as he does.
Scott, you've been looking for somebody to step up and just kind of say, hey, enough of this. I mean, you're doing it now, but do you need a guy in there to say, hey, enough of this, we got to do something different, because it just hasn't been working right now.
Mm-hmm. It all depends where we want to be 60 days or 60 games from now. Want to be playing playoff baseball, you want to be driving home.
That's a pretty good challenge, and I'm willing to bet he said the same thing to the team right after the game in a closed-door meeting.
Talk about being a marathon. It's getting to be close to a sprint. Not quite there yet. We're getting close. So 60 games. You got to show up and compete. Go ready to take it every night. And if you don't, this league doesn't care. They'll just walk on by you. That's where we're at. So, everybody has to step up. That's where we're at. And I thought, yesterday's game, we competed very well. We got after it. Didn't show up. Didn't happen tonight. And that's inexcusable and just gifted the game away.
I think that's very well said. Because the game before was one of their better games of the season all the way around. And then to do that yesterday, it's just not right.
Well, that's going to be the question I was going to ask you. Like, who steps up in this moment? Who's the leader? Who's the person who can...
Julio? JP?
Sure.
Well, they weren't playing.
And then I know. And then I was going to ask you...
Cal?
Can someone, if you do acquire someone here who's a difference maker, can that person be that person to step up? Or does it take someone who's
I think it's pretty hard to ask a new person who shows up here in July to be the leader of the team and pull them out of it. I think that's too much to ask of anybody. That's not setting anybody up for success.
Yeah.
Let me get away from Scott for a little bit. I got about 10 minutes here, and I do want to go through what happened with Ty France yesterday, and then Brock, I know, is going to come in spitting hot fire at 7 o'clock. So what happened with Ty France? Why was he not DFA'd, but instead placed on irrevocable waivers? It's complicated, honestly, and I tried to explain it yesterday. I went through a lot of it. I couldn't quite figure out why they did one and not the other, if their goal was truly to move on from Ty. And I finally got the answer yesterday, and thanks to a few folks over at the ballpark for helping me out. Adam Jude was one, but there were a few others. I talked to a bunch of people yesterday, and the big difference is if they DFA'd him and he got claimed by another team and left, the Mariners are still on the hook for the salary. This gives them the opportunity to have somebody else pick up his $2 million if they want him. Make sense? It other than that, essentially serves the same purpose, where at the end of this they can outright him and he can elect free agency and he moves on. And if all of that happens, they will still be on the hook for the money. So it may end the same as DFAing him. But this at least gives the teams, if somebody wants him, there's a bidding war for him. And if it's true that both Boston and Houston want him, maybe one of them will spend a couple $1 million to make sure the other doesn't get him, and you're off the hook for his money. If you're the Mariners and you're coming up on the trade deadline and you're looking to add, and you're hopefully trying to add salary that didn't seem to be available during the offseason, well, $2 million is valuable. It might be the difference between getting Paredes and not. It might be the difference. I mean, who knows? I don't know the details. But $2 million is $2 million, and it has some value in that moment. That being so, I understand why they did it. That being said, I totally understand and agree with anybody on the team who says, are you kidding me? Just DFA the guy and move on rather than putting everybody in this weird spot in limbo so that you can save $2 million. All right, I totally understand any player, any fan who says that. I agree. I know why Jerry and I know why the rest of the Mariner organization would want to do it the way they did. And frankly, it happens all the time. That is not something unique to the Mariners. That's what most teams in baseball would do in that moment, is put a guy on waivers, see if he gets claimed, and if not, then you can DFA him or move on, and you don't have to worry about it. But they got caught because it got out there. Usually it doesn't get made public. And if this hadn't been made public, it probably would have they just would have moved on from Ty France without this awkward limbo period in between. But it got made public. All right, so who made it public? It sure wasn't the Mariners. There's no way Jerry or Justin or Scott or anybody else in the organization wants this out. This only serves to make them look bad. Well, who else knows? Ty and his agent. Well, why do Ty and his agent want this out? I don't know. But it certainly creates an awkward situation for him, for the team, for everybody involved. No doubt about that. And, it's not not unique to the Mariners. This is what teams do. But it sure backfired on him yesterday and created this incredibly weird situation. Adam Jude was on yesterday. Here's what he said.
JP Crawford talked briefly here. JP and Ty France, again, are really close friends. JP Crawford is probably maybe the most miserable person in the ballpark right now because he did not want this to happen, did not see this. But again, these guys are professionals. This is a game, it's pro baseball. You got to win at the end of the day. And with where this team is at, they're still in the tie for first place. This guy has fallen in, and there are a lot of serious issues and serious questions about where this offense is, and rightfully so. But you've got to win at the end of the day. And this is going to be an eventful week. This day might still be an eventful day as well.
Yeah, so it did end up being eventful in some way just because of the way the game ended up going at that point. And heck, maybe it would have been helpful to have Ty France in that game, a right-handed bat playing first base against a left-handed pitcher. I'm sure if this hadn't been made public, that he would have been out there and he would have been playing in that game until he ends up getting released later this week. But it didn't go down that way. It sure didn't. I said earlier, if people are upset in that clubhouse about Ty France getting released, they better look in the mirror. They shut your mouth and look in the mirror. I don't get that at all. The guy's not hitting and hasn't been hitting for 2 years. JP, maybe you're, and I don't want to read too much into what Adam Jude said. If JP's sad because he's going to miss his friend, I get it.
Yeah.
But if JP's even a little bit mad at the organization for moving on, come on, dude. You use your eyes. That's not right. He's not hitting. You're not hitting. Mitch isn't hitting. Mitch isn't hitting. Jorge's not hitting. I mean, like, what? You just expect them to do the same thing forever? You expect what? Like eternal patience? You get endless opportunities to pull yourself out of it? Everybody does? Come on, man. Look around. And if he was going to say, hey, look, there are people doing worse than him, why did he have to go? Yeah, you're one of them. But you're signed up to a long-term contract. And so is Haniger and so is Garver, at least for next year. And this guy's not. So what do you think's going to happen? This isn't brain surgery here. So this idea that they're upset, they're so sad Ty France is gone. Whatever, man. You're all part of the problem. You're the reason why. By the way, if everybody else was hitting, if Julio was hitting, JP was hitting, Polanco was hitting, Garver was hitting, if all those guys were hitting, guess what? They'd have dealt with Ty France. You could handle Ty France being a 96 OPS plus guy if everyone else was doing their job. But when they're not, eventually you've got to make a change, and he's the only one that's easy to make. Guess what? I don't think it's the last one. I think there's going to be more to come. The vibe I felt over there yesterday is that I think this roster could look pretty different in a week or two. And some of that may come through the trade market. Some of it may be internal. You may see Cade Marlowe up here making a significant number of starts. Why is Class A up instead of Marlowe right now? I don't know. But I bet it's because there's not enough playing time for Marlowe to come up and play every day, and they don't mind using Class A as a bench guy to come out and run, although obviously he screwed that up in a pretty big way 2 nights ago. 3 nights ago? Whenever it was. I'm going to guess that once they start to do everything they're going to do, that yesterday was the first domino to fall and that there are going to be a bunch more, and they will probably have to backfill some stuff, and you may see someone like Marlowe up instead of Mitch Haniger. At some point, Canzone should come back, and that will help a little bit just sort of make this roster make sense. That's kind of a hidden injury that, while it's not like he's been their best player, far from it, he's been kind of an average player. And when he's in there, you don't have to see Mitch Haniger in right field as much. You don't have to see some of the things that we've seen here over the last couple of days. That's a killer for them. Mitch can't run, he can't move, and he can't hit right now. So you put all of those things together, and like, is a Canzone injury, should that be death to your team? No, of course not. That's bad roster construction. And I'm not saying that injury is. It's just sort of a little extra thing that's hurting them right now, and why you end up rolling a lineup out like you did last night that was just abysmal. That's not a real baseball line. It's not a major league lineup. And the guys played like that. Yeah, I know Scott says, well, we didn't play a Major League Baseball game. Well, you say that's not Major League Baseball. It wasn't a Major League lineup. It really wasn't. That's an unserious lineup that they rolled out last night. So I didn't have high expectations for that game, so I wasn't as upset as some other people were. I looked at the lineup and we're like, okay, well, if you can steal a game tonight, great. But hopefully you're going after the next couple of games after this, and hopefully Julio's going to be okay. And hopefully here, these changes are going to be made that will change the way this roster looks and feels. And I really believe they'll happen. The question is, was it going to be too late? Because you lose like 5 of your next 6, there's no point. At that point, you may very well be too far out. You're going to be like all those teams in the National League that we've been rooting against to try to fall out of it. You lose 5 of your next 6 games, Houston keeps winning, Texas keeps winning, and you find yourself, 5 games back and like tied with the Rangers? Say goodnight, Gracie. That thing's over. Say goodnight. You've taken a 10-game lead at that point and turned it into a 5-6 game deficit. I don't see them coming back from that, not with their horses or lack thereof. So to say that these next 5-6 days are paramount, yeah, it's a sprint. It really is. Because without it, the trade deadline, you're not buying. You're not. You're not, because you're not like, it's not like you fall out of the division and you're the wild card team. You're not. All right, we take a break. Brock's going to be in. He's got his own problems to get to.
I was going to say, this is only going to get you two.
Hold on. Brock's coming in next. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Ty France will be placed on outright waivers, which will likely end his time with the Mariners. What's the real headline?
Au revoir, Ty. Did I say that right?
You're the one who took French class.
Well, I failed French class. To be fair, a lot of people failed. Maybe it was a teaching issue. I don't know.
Oh, man, Ty France, something needed to be done, right? I hope this is the first move that is foreshadowing a bigger one. You have to do something with guys in your organization right now, so what is next is my question.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
This is a paid political announcement. A Bob for Bob update. Under 12 years of Bob Ferguson as Attorney General and Chief Prosecutor, we in Washington have seen a lot of increases. This, of course, includes a 26% increase in violent crime, 58% increase in homicides, and Washington ranking 4th in the country in stolen vehicles in 2023, behind California, Texas, and Florida. Oh, and according to the FBI, Washington was the 8th most dangerous state between 2020 and 2022. Don't ask for help if you drive a Hyundai or a Kia that's been stolen. What has AG Bob Ferguson done? Bob's been busy planning his governor's campaign and keeping Washington last in the country in law enforcement officers per citizen. As the leader of the Bob for Bob committee, I encourage you to vote Bob if you want more of these crippling policies for Washington, so Bob gets what he's always wanted, governor. Paid for by the Bob for Bob Committee, 1283 Puyallup, Washington, 98371. Top 4 donors, Steve Gordon, Fremont Dock Company, Brian Haywood, and Susie Burke.
At State Roofing, you can trust us to get your project done right because we prioritize quality and excellence in everything we do. Take advantage of 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest today, and don't pay until 2025. Call State Roofing at 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
America's favorite car show returns to Washington State with a jam-packed weekend of cool cars, cool people, and good time. It's the Good Guys 36th Rio's Garage Pacific Northwest National, and it's all happening this weekend at the Washington State Fair Event Center in Puyallup. Cruise on out and check out over 2,500 of the country's coolest classics. And don't miss the tire smoking burnout competition, Nitro Thunderfest, live music, family fun, Friday night vintage drags at Pacific Raceways in Kent, and so much more. It's Washington's biggest hot rodding party of the summer, and it's all going down this weekend in Puyallup. Details at good-guys.com.
Are you putting off your new kitchen plans? Why wait? Hi, Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Call today and ask about our trade-in sale. Years of experience, thousands of happy customers. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600 or heritagehomecraft.com.
Are you looking for a construction loan to build your dream home? Are you a local builder needing a better financing option for your next spec project? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Stop wasting time with local banks and credit unions and their endless guidelines. We're the experts for common sense residential construction loans. We lend our own money, we make our own decisions. And if your deal makes sense, we'll get it done fast with flexible terms. For homeowners, we advise you every step of the way with things like budget and timeline, ensuring the completion of your dream home. For builders, Legacy's not only your lender, we'll source your next deal, provide permitting services, and if you're short on equity, we'll invest alongside of you. Legacy Group Capital has lent more than $1 billion, helping over 130 local builders and hundreds of homeowners. We can help you.
Construction loans don't have to be hard. Borrow smart with a common sense construction loan from Legacy Group Capital. Visit LegacyG.com. LegacyG.com.
You're free now. Free to fill your feed with impossibly chunky chunkers who chunk harder than you ever thought possible.
Cats, corgis, babies, baby penguins, baby pandas, chunky baby pandas.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things. Free to open a world of remote work and a portal into Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine, and then some. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service in select locations only.
Lexus is electrified, and the first ever RZ450E has the performance and range to get you where you need to go with the exclusive Lexus Direct 4 all-wheel drive technology. Lexus of Bellevue has over 50 RZs available for immediate delivery with electrifying savings. Up to $18,500 lease cash on every RZ450E. Visit lexusofbellevue.com.
On approval of credit through LFS, lease cash from Lexus available on select 2024 RZ styles. Must take delivery by July 31st, 2024. A documentary service fee up to $200 may be added to the purchase price or capitalized costs. See dealership for details.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Get in the freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
Brought to you by Simply Seattle.
We're going to accuse you of management.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Well, that's a big hello on what has become a tough day. I started off an hour ago, Brock, by saying it should be a fun day. The Seahawks are reporting, and there's a lot of hope and optimism and a whole new lease on life over in that building. And we'll dig into them a little bit more starting in about 30 minutes. But unfortunately, everything overshadowed by the Mariners, who just continue this free fall tumble and just don't seem to be able to pull themselves out of it. Each time it looks like maybe they might, they find a way to do something even worse. And yesterday was another example of it. The lineup was bad. You were never going to score a lot of runs yesterday with that lineup. But the play, it wasn't good, and it wasn't worthy of the start that Bryce Miller had because he was dealing for 7 innings.
So good. So good. How many years you and Heather been married now, Salt?
Since 2008.
Okay, 16
years.
16 years. Yeah, 25 for Molly and I.
About to be 16 years.
You know those times where you just know, like you've been married so long, and you dated Heather so long, so you guys like know each other, right, inside out, and you just know if something's kind of building, like like I've kind in a marriage, you can kind of like stop it sometimes, be like, okay, I'll just totally own this, even though I shouldn't. I'll just totally own this. It's the right thing to do. I'm just kind of done. I'm seeing where this is going. I know this is not going to be good, so I'll just kind of fall on the sword. You know, you have those opportunities, right, in marriage. Last night felt like you could just see this thing coming. You could just see this thing coming, especially when Stanek came in. And you're like, oh gosh, please throw strikes.
I mean, it was one pitch.
The first pitch, you're like, oh no.
It wasn't it wasn't just that it was wild. It didn't look like his normal windup and delivery. He looked like he was, I don't know what it was. I said earlier, he looked like one of those little 2-inch Army guys you used to have as a kid, who was the one who was throwing the grenade. Yeah. That's what he looked like. He was heaving the ball.
Yeah, and I could picture Scott looking at Woodworth like, you get the heck out there, like after the first batter. Like, this is just not right. But in today's rules, you got to be in for 3.
I thought I would have taken him out and said he's hurt. honestly, I thought he was hurt. His back clearly has not, been right. I would have taken him out on the spot.
Yeah.
And I would have IL'd him the second the game was over.
So Justin, it's the one thing. Justin is like Blowers in this regard. Like he's not an overtalker by any regard, but every once in a while he'll just inflame things, especially with me on a little text stream, get me going a little bit. I feel like, wow, if he's throwing some kerosene, I might as well throw the whole fire starter on here. But Justin will regularly say this, like, can't walk him. That leadoff walk in the 8th inning, I mean, it always comes back to sting you. To that inning, to the 9th inning, and you're going to get stung. And it feels like that's the most upset Dad has been all year.
Yeah, he was very upset. Lost his patience, and then Shannon asked him why.
You've shown a lot of patience with what you've seen. Why tonight?
Because I'm tired of watching it. Stand up for our guys. Believe in them. Some nights, that's not Major League Baseball. We handed them a game.
We've made so many comparisons from Scott to Dad and Dad to Scott.
That's so good.
I know, but isn't that Dad disappointment?
I needed that right there, Salk. I needed that last night. Is that Dad disappointment? You doggone right it is.
Hey, I do everything I can for you, and this is how you treat me?
Yeah.
Right? I do everything I can. I bust my butt. I work hard. I take the bullets for you when it's necessary. And that's what you give me? That's the effort level you give me back? You handed them the game. You can't do that.
Nope. Not great defensively. Certainly didn't make any extraordinary plays. Not great on the base pass. Super tough there. 1-1. Okay, Riley's up to bat. Guy handles his bat well. Class A. The only thing he can really do at this stage of his major league career is steal bases plus speed. He gets on with an infield hit. It's 3-1 count. Like he's got second base stolen. Nobody out.
Really pops it up. Polanco fouls one off. Yeah, I mean, dude, it was one thing after another, and it was brutal. It was a brutal loss. Was it their worst loss of the year? I would maintain no, but coming on the heels of all of the others, it may very well have been the one that broke the camel's back just because of the mounting frustration that all seemed to pour out at the end of that game with the Boo Birds lustily making their voices heard, and for good reason. If I'd been there by then, I would have been booing as well. You have every right to. That is not a product that you're out there paying to see, and I think Scott knows that. I think the players know that. They were upset. He was upset. Everybody should be upset after that game. The question is, what are you going to do about it?
That's right.
And even what can you do about it? Is Julio going to be able to play today? Probably not. JP's going to go onto the IL. He's going to miss some time. So you're probably going to see, Leo Rivas or maybe even Ryan Bliss back up. I mean, it's not like you've got like options galore. I see some people saying, why is Scott not taking heat for what you called an unserious lineup? Who was he supposed to put in there last night? Julio's on the team, but hurt. France was still on the team, but not playing and available. Like, who else did you want to see play last night that you think Scott should have put in the lineup?
Right.
I can't come up with anybody. Well, why did he take Miller out after 7? Because everybody comes out after 7 because he'd thrown 100 pitches.
Because you want him in, you want him in August and September.
Absolutely.
And I know we're getting near the sprint of it, and he even said that afterwards, and that was some of his frustration. Is I'm gonna be patient, in April and in May and through June of this marathon season. But you get to the second half of the season, you start to wind into the final 50 games.
Yep. Houston
goes down and lays an egg down there in the Bay. Right, their 4th and 5th pitchers are not very good, and this division is giving you. I think that's why last night was some of my boiling points. This is like.
I think it's the frustration, Brock, of there's no other option at times. I see another one. Well, why wasn't Gregory Santos in the 8th? Well, he can't pitch back-to-back games right now. Okay, well, who else did you want? I was upset to see Stanek. I'm with you. I raised my hand. After what had happened last week, I said, I think it was yesterday on the show, Ryan Stanek should have lost his leverage role.
Agreed.
I thought that was something that happened in Anaheim.
Because, again, this has been, or in San Diego, this has been like not once or twice
4 or 5 times in a row.
That's
Ryan
right.
Stanek is not a leverage reliever right now. Okay, well, who should he use? Austin Voth? Voth was the biggest problem in the Anaheim series and also lost his leverage role. Should it have been Trent Thornton? Well, he did the same thing the next inning.
Didn't I see Gabe Speier was reinstated?
Yeah. All right. So you want to throw him right back into the fire?
No, I'm just wondering. I didn't get to watch this weekend.
That's a fair one.
Did he throw?
Maybe, he did not yesterday.
No, maybe over the weekend. I didn't get to see it.
He did not over the weekend.
Friday, I think. Right?
Did he?
I don't know.
So not much. Is the
not much.
Maybe it was Spire. Maybe that's the guy he should have gone to. Santos was not available. He's not pitching back-to-back days. Voth has been a train wreck. Thornton ended up giving it up. You want Sacedo? I did not. Right? I mean, like, this is why when Jerry was on the station with us last week, he said they need another reliever.
Yep.
They do. Ryan Stanek gave them what he could and was a reasonable Matt Brash facsimile for 3.5 months. But that time is over. He's turned back into a pumpkin. And now you've got to find a way, because Santos isn't ready to do it every day, to add someone you can trust to that bullpen other than Munoz and occasionally Thornton.
And by the way, that bullpen is just not even an innings pitched. Every single time they go out because of this offense, it is a one-run game.
That's right.
I mean, say for the other day against Houston, where it was a 4-run lead, and they had to go, whew, all right, I can give up a mistake. I can give up a bomb, and it's okay. Not now. You know, not last night, and not in the majority of these games, unfortunately. And, Dad was the rest of us last night. Scott's as upset as anybody. That's as much emotion as you're going to ever see him show.
I think that's all very, very true and totally warranted. The question isn't how mad was he last night. It's how will they play coming out of it today and into the rest of this week. Because with the deadline now a week away, Brock, I said it right before. You lose 5 of your next 6, you're not buying. Honestly, you're out. You lose 5 of your next 6, you're out. That's it. Say goodnight, Gracie. Like, you're going to be at that point, 5-6 games out of first place and trending so horribly in the wrong direction? You're not buying. You're not giving up your future at that point for current bats. You're looking for a way to think about next year, or at the very least just holding pat. So, yeah, right now it is a sprint. Right now it is a 5 or 6 game sprint before the deadline, and we'll see what direction they go after yesterday's tongue lashing. We'll come right back with everything you need to know, and then some hope, which springs eternal over on the other side of Lake Washington. That's in 20 on Brock and Salk.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
Gino, he's a guy that I think is probably the biggest question mark on this team for a lot of people nationally.
You know, this guy's been through it, man. What a weird career Gino has had. You start off as a starter, and then all of a sudden you're in a backup situation. I think he was just kind of accepting his situation. Now you see how he is. He's very assertive, and like he wants to be somebody, and he's probably at that point, I'm just going to go out there and let it rip. I'm not playing with something to lose. I'm playing with something to gain.
Streaming on your smart speaker.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and I do want to talk to you guys about your windows, especially this time of year when it's been super hot and your AC is running nonstop. Well, you got to get better windows, right? If yours are builder grade or they're over 8 years old, the seals are probably broken, the air's leaking out, you're paying the price with high utility bills all year long. Well, that's why you got Window Nation, okay? High quality windows that are built to last a lifetime. Right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you're going to get 2 for free. So there's no limit to how much you could save. Then you could save even more because they got 0 down, no interest or payments for 24 months. Now, Window Nation's windows do come with a lifetime warranty, and they can be installed in 1 day or less. They were even recently ranked highest on Forbes' list of the best window installation companies. So you can trust Window Nation for high-quality, affordable windows. Stop paying more than you have to. Schedule a fast in-home estimate now. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Chill or grill on a new deck this season. Get a free Makita Bluetooth radio or portable pellet grill with a qualifying PAR deck package purchase. But hurry, offer ends soon. Visit par.com for details. PAR, your total home building source. Go where the builders go.
If your home has air conditioning, congratulations, because it looks like this summer is going to be a scorcher. But to make sure your AC system is working at its best, Deere Services is offering an inspection and tune-up with a no breakdown guarantee and no service fee for just $49, a $129 value. Assure yourself of a comfortable, cool summer. Visit DEARservices.net, make an appointment, and we'll be there within 3 hours or give you a $100 credit. Deere Services, there when you need us most.
Scotland comes to the Pacific Northwest during the weekend of July 27th and 28th with the 77th Annual Pacific Northwest Scottish Highland Games and Clan Gathering at the Expo Center in Enumclaw. Competitive, colorful pipe bands and drummers from Washington, Oregon, and British Columbia will be featured alongside field events, some to include the popular caber toss and hammer throw. Traditional Scottish foods and gathering tents are also part of this festive weekend. For more information, go to www.sshga.org.
The biggest scuba sale in America starts Thursday at Underwater Sports in North Seattle. Incredible savings for 3 days only. Divers Fair only happens once each year at Underwater Sports, 107th and Aurora Avenue North.
Hey golf fans, Dan Wilson here, inviting you to join me at the 2024 Boeing Classic. See Masters champions and Golf Hall of Famers live at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge from August 9th through 11th. It's your chance to experience the only PGA Tour champion stop in the Pacific Northwest and see golf's biggest stars. Grab the whole family and come on down to join the action. It's a golf experience you won't want to miss. The Boeing Classic at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge from August 9th through the 11th. For $20 tickets, visit BoeingClassic.com.
Looking for the best synthetic turf in the Northwest? At Synthetic Turf Northwest, we resell our premium line of Northwest Pro Natural products to both businesses and consumers. From industry-leading supplies to expert advice, we have everything you need to complete your installation, whether it's for your customers or for your own DIY project. Now through July 31st, ask about how you can beat the heat and save up to $1,000 on your next project. It's a limited time offer, so call us today and discover why we're the Northwest's trusted source for quality synthetic turf. SyntheticTurfNorthwest.com, 425-788-0718.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
I'm here with my friend Mark Clymer from Wayscar Ford, Isuzu in Auburn. Mark, is now the best time to buy a new car?
Well, it absolutely is right now because we have our factory invoice sale going on right now, which means you're going to pay what we pay. And this is on all our 24 model vehicles, basically, everything except for Raptors. So we're talking F-150s, Rangers, Mavericks, F-250s, Explorers, Escapes, Expeditions. You name it, these are brand new 2024 models. They also come with our lifetime powertrain coverage and 5 days or 500-mile, 100% money-back guarantee, so you can shop with total confidence. There's no negotiating, nothing. You pay what we pay. We're overstocked right now, and we need to make room. We have a lot more vehicles coming in. So, yeah, you're right. If you've been putting it off and you're looking to get a new Ford, for a limited time, we're having our factory invoice sale. You pay what we pay.
Take the hassle out of car shopping. You know you're getting a great deal at Wayscar Ford, Isuzu in Auburn. Wayscarford.com.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or e-gift card. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. That's promo code GIFT.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Taking Nugenix Total T makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas, right? Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yes.
Text radio to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix.
Need to know. Brought to you by Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
There are games throughout most seasons where each team will start a lineup that doesn't look major league quality. Happens to almost everybody due to a combination of injuries and other circumstances. And last night, that was the Mariners. They took an already struggling lineup and removed even more punch from it. Then 1 inning in, J.P. Crawford gets hurt. You got to replace him with Luke Raley. So, yeah, the results offensively were predictable. The problem is it wasn't just the bad offense that only led to 1 run, 14 strikeouts, and almost no pressure on the pitching throughout the entire game. When Bryce Miller went 7 shutout innings and gave you a chance to win, only to have your bullpen walk 4 in 2 innings, give up 3 runs, and then some lousy defense to boot, that doesn't cut it.
Talk about being a marathon. It's getting to be close to a sprint. Not quite there yet. We're getting close. 60 games. You got to show up and compete. Go ready to take it every night. And if you don't, this league doesn't care. They'll just walk on by you. That's where we're at. So, everybody has to step up. That's where we're at. And I thought, yesterday's game, we competed very well. We got after it. Didn't show up. Didn't happen tonight. And that's inexcusable and just gifted the game away.
Yeah, the league has no pity, man. They don't care that Julio's out. They don't care that JP breaks his pinky in his first to bat. The league don't care. And then the game of baseball will come back and bite you. You walk people, and you put them on base again and again and again and again in the 8th and 9th inning. So this game will come back, and I don't care what the level is. This game will come back, and it will bite you. The challenge, and I think what we talked through today and with Passan in an hour is, okay, so we all see this. We all vent. The manager finally last night just kind of lost his top, right? Which many have been clamoring for him to do in a closed-door meeting after that game. The real question and the real meat on the bone is, what can you do? What can you do? I would be surprised if, depending on what happens, Salk, over these next 5-6 games, and you had the Angels, you got the White Sox, you had some bad teams that you should beat. You should be beating these teams. This is a soft part of your schedule. This isn't Garrett Cole. This isn't the Orioles. These aren't the good teams, playoff teams that you've struggled with. These are the bottom feeders. If this doesn't turn around, I think you're going to have to see some new faces, right? The personnel is going to, at some point, have to change because it is just not working.
Yeah, it's 4 straight losses now to the Angels. Logan Gilbert tonight. Luis Castillo tomorrow. I mentioned the pitchers and saying they've got to come up big, but they have been coming up big. I mean, they're not going to pitch any better than Bryce Miller did last night. Someone other than the next 2 starting pitchers is going to have to step up and take it.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
You mentioned a changing roster, Brock, and it did start. Ty France is on his way out. His weird limbo state is over. He will likely be claimed or released, but for now, he is still on the active roster. That's going to end essentially now because he cleaned out his locker and said goodbye to his teammates yesterday. I went through some of this. Why was he released this way and not DFA'd? Essentially because if somebody claims him, they could save the $2 million. That's essentially why.
The team that would claim is owed the remaining $2 million. Would pay
him.
Yes.
Versus if you DFA him, you would pay him no matter what. In all likelihood, it's not going to matter that he's probably going to go to free agency here, and you're going to end up paying his salary. But this is something most teams try. It's not supposed to get out and be made public. It was, which is why you now need to do this, and that's a mistake. I'm sure that Scott, Jerry, Justin, John, everyone in that organization is furious that this made its way out. That's a bad leak and something that unfortunately cost the team a whole lot of a very uncomfortable moment.
You think that played a role in some of the listlessness, some of the struggle, or was it? I mean, you just never know, right?
It was a weird vibe over there yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It has to be, man.
It felt like the day Paul Sewald was leaving and saying goodbye, right? Likable player. And in Paul's case, it was because the people around him hadn't delivered. In Ty's case, it was a little bit more on him, but also on the rest of the team for not delivering. I played the sound from Adam Jude saying that J.P. Crawford was upset. And I got to tell you, that's pretty rich.
Yeah.
I got no patience for any of the players being upset that Ty was let go. What did you want the organization to do?
Right.
Hold on indefinitely? There has to be some level of change. What, you just want to keep doing the same thing over and over? Well, when they do, you complain that they're not active enough. How about this, JP? Hit. Just hit.
Yeah.
And maybe this whole thing doesn't happen.
Cosign.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Let's change the subject because everyone should be here, Brock, ready to go. Seahawks report today. Practice starts tomorrow. No holdouts. No major drama expected. No new significant injuries outside of the bumps and bruises that we were expecting with the linebackers and Abe Lucas and a few others to start camp. So for the most part, all good news and hope as they start tomorrow.
Yeah, pretty drama-free. I think that's the way you go into it. And certainly not a ton of noise. So we'll hit on this a little bit in Blue 88. Some of these lists, and the final one that is training camp breaks is the top 100 players in the league voted on by their peers is starting to unwind a little bit. And they're actually, unlike Salk, Mr. Fowler's top 10 lists, there actually are a bunch of Seahawks on this, albeit 80 to 100. But but there's some of those guys that have made those lists. But yes, rather
so here's the
drama-free.
list. DK Metcalf 84, Tariq Woolen 91, Julian Love 95.
Yep.
Who else is going to be on this
Spoon's
list?
going to be on that list.
Yeah.
Yep.
Leonard
Spoon will be
Williams going to be on this list?
somewhere in the 60s or 70s, maybe. Because I think those guys up front and maybe peers around the league know that the Big Cat is still a difference maker. So, yeah, you might end up getting five of those guys on there.
Adam Schefter reporting yesterday, former Dolphins and Cowboys guard center Connor Williams going to meet with the team today. He's had ACL surgery, so he's not been healthy, but he was a second-round pick of the Cowboys. Actually played really well for a while, right? He was a good player who unfortunately has just been hurt. If he's healthy, I would think he's going to compete for a starting job.
I want to say, was it a December ACL, I believe, a December surgery?
Yeah, it was late.
Late in the year.
9 games in, I believe.
Yeah, so you would be probably
week 14, of last year.
Yeah, so I think late December. So you'd be more than likely looking maybe at the second half of the season, getting him back as an possible insurance policy. Understand why they're looking. And the interior of that offensive line and the linebacker room, certainly the thinnest, both in experience and depth.
All right, there you go. That is everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. While I could sit here and just complain and be mad, and I know you could as well for the entirety of the 4-hour show today, Brock, I don't think that's fair to us or to our audience. There are or to the Seahawks, quite frankly, who have a lot of excitement today as they start training camp with everything being new and interesting and different and cool and exciting and all of that. One of the reasons I was sort of upset, I said this about an hour and a half ago, this isn't a situation where the Mariners are 10 games out and you say, thank God we can just move on and talk about football. They're right in it.
Yeah.
They're just playing like such utter dog you-know-what that it's really challenging to not complain about it because it's not over.
Yeah, you're not in the American League East or the American League Central or the American League East where you would be double digits out.
They haven't made themselves irrelevant. They can turn this around and everything can be just fine. But you actually have to do it. All right, I got to put them on the side. I got to put them on the back burner.
All right.
We're going to take 30 minutes and not talk about the Mariners.
Okay.
At 8 o'clock, we'll get back to it. At 8:30, we'll talk to Jeff Passan. I want to spend the next 30 minutes talking football. I got some rapid-fire questions, Brock, and then I got some Blue 88 questions, and there better be answers. Next on Brock and Salk.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
How does management view this team now? Are they looking at this team and saying, man, don't matter what we add, we don't really have the firepower to make a push? Or are they looking at this team and saying, all right, we didn't equip them. We didn't give them the artillery, the arsenal that they needed to really stay in the fight. Let's go ahead and get it because they've shown us at some point in the season they can handle it a little bit.
The Mariners lead the league in quality starts. You have an amazing pitching staff. Don't punt on this season because you don't have the offense that you want.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and clearly we're in the midst of summer. It'll be back, I think, by, later today, maybe tomorrow. Hopefully you've got good plans and vacations and road trips and all that stuff. But you don't want to be limited by how you look nor how you feel. Now, I know you've heard how I went on this Eastside Weight Loss Clinic program. I did lose 35 pounds. The results were incredible. I couldn't be happier. My life and energy, all of that improved. I want the same for you. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic is looking for 710 listeners to help this summer. Easy ask. Schedule a 15-minute, no-obligation consult at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Safe, healthy, sustainable weight loss. No pills, no injections, no surgery. Real food, lose real weight, look and feel your very best. That can be yours this summer. What's the secret? Call Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. They'll tell you. 425-588-0080 or eastsideweightlossklinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-3536, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We can get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we can take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Granger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
4 down territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bumpin' Stacy.
To me, stress-free means I don't have to worry. Everything will turn out great with little or no effort. That's exactly why more people choose Subaru Puyallup. Brock here. Look no further than Subaru Puyallup for the very best. Stress-free, huge selection, pricing, and ownership experience. Stop by, or if you know what Subaru you want, choose Subaru Puyallup's stress-free direct online car buying right there at SubaruPuyallup.com. Part of the great Harnish Auto family. It's my friends down at Subaru Puyallup, your stress-free dealership.
At Buc-ee's, we'll keep you ready for summertime. For over 50 years, Buc-ee's Complete Auto has been servicing and repairing cars and trucks with modern-day technology and good old-fashioned customer service. Buc-ee's is the largest independent family-owned chain in the Northwest. There's a Buc-ee's just about everywhere for factory maintenance, oil changes, wiper blades, air conditioning, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, everything you need to get you running smoothly this summer. No appointment necessary, and financing's available too. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
High five! Up top! Heck yeah!
Dave's company just got the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah, 5 years!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
High five for gig speed.
5 years of advanced security.
Security win.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Our rate ain't changing.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
There it is.
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Woohoo!
Now he's got savings.
I'm so excited.
Yep, Dave's feeling it. But it's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Switch today and ask how to get the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Powering 5 years of savings. Powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Woo! Ends 8/21/24. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Reporting day for the veterans for the Seahawks today, Brock. And then tomorrow they practice. Going to go out there. I know Maura's planning to go over there. I'm going to go over there. Looking forward to seeing this team actually practice. I don't think they'll have pads on yet, right?
No.
They still have to wait.
Got some acclimation to do.
Right. God forbid they start using pads right now. But they will at least be practicing again. And we will be over there to get a first glimpse of what they look like at training camp. And whether it's different from minicamp and OTAs, I don't know how different it'll look, but I'm looking forward to being over there. And with that in mind, I thought today would be a good day for some rapid-fire Seahawks questions. I know how you love rapid-fire, Brock.
You always do this to me at 7:30 too.
Why?
I mean, can we wait till like 9:30 when the juices are flowing and everything else? Like I get acclimated to the show. I get some time to get the horsepower, revved up before you just start making fun of me. Like this is rapid fire. Like this is no huddle. Yeah. Like this is pick it up.
It's rapid fire.
Like
pick up the pace.
Don't tase me, bro. Don't touch me.
Do you think that like in the Chip Kelly years, the Oregon Ducks could wait until the fourth quarter?
No, they just went right out the gate.
You got called into a game. Did you tell everybody, wait a minute, I have to get acclimated?
Maura, did you see my career?
We've been going since 6 a.m.
Have you seen my career numbers, Maura? Yes.
Brock, you're welcome to join us starting at 6 when we start getting into the show.
When you get acclimated at 6?
I've been doing this for an hour and a half. And by the way, I was on fire right from about 6:02 this morning.
Oh, I heard.
So maybe you could just find a way.
I had some birdies let me know.
Here are some rapid fire questions today. You ready?
Yes.
Question number 1, rapid fire. What player could help himself the most in the next few weeks before the season starts?
I'm going to lean into the edge players. Put the pads on. Mike McDonald, bless his heart, has said numerous times to Brady and the rest of the media out there, this is all great. This is wonderful. We've been acclimating all offseason. Let's put the pads on.
Okay.
And he demands an awful lot of his edge guys. Darrell Taylor, Derek Hall, Boye Mafe. I think we know. Uchenna, we've seen enough track record. But I would say those young edge guys got an opportunity to set, like literally, set the edge and set the tone.
I have 3 guys on my list. Derek Hall was one of them, so he would agree with he would be part of what you were saying. Charbonnet was my number 2 name, guy who I think could challenge for that starting job. And actually, number 1 on my list is Olu Oluwatimi, because right now he's sort of the starter. But, like, could he solidify that and actually, like, make himself a starting center in his second year in the league? He's on my list. Those 3, probably in any order.
Did Charles pick this music to get me going a little bit?
I don't know, but hopefully it's working.
Huh?
I didn't choose that music.
Charles, this is good, man. You got the juices flowing.
Sounds like we're, like, at a conga line or something.
I like it.
What's going on? All right, rapid fire, Brock. We got to go quicker.
Okay.
What new player do you need to see in person at camp?
Oh, it's got to be a new player?
Yes.
I got to see Laken Tomlinson move. I watched him lift. I've watched, thanks to Hawkmania, every one of his Instagram reels on Twitter. So I've watched the man like move more weight than any of his teammates. I got to see if that guy can still move. Market didn't think so. Gave him a 1-year deal, pretty minimum deal for as many starts as that Ironman has had. But I got to see if that dude can actually solidify somewhat of that interior offensive
Yeah, that's
line.
the wrong answer. The right answer is Byron Murphy, Brock. You have to see the man in
I've already
person.
seen him. I've already seen him.
I mean, you saw him at Texas. You saw him around a bunch of college kids.
Sure.
You got to see him matching up against the NFL players on a day-to-day basis, and especially in games here in preseason. Byron Murphy, the clear number 1. My number 2, though, is Rayshon Jenkins.
You got his name right this time.
Thank you. He's kind of flown under. Appreciate that. I looked it up again last night just to make sure I had it. What did I call him last time?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Marshawn?
It wasn't Marshawn. How dare you? In any event, kind of an under the radar guy who's supposed to be a starting safety for them.
Raheem.
You could call him Raheem. All right. Well, I was close.
Yeah, that's close.
No, that's not nice. His name is Rayshon. And by the way, I caught it before we went on the air. So thanks a lot. Sheesh. No love there at all.
Okay, number 3. Here we go.
I don't even know whether I can keep asking you questions after your terrible answer on number 2. Number 3. Which veteran is a potential surprise cut at the end of camp?
Oh, you're going to love my answer. Go ahead. Take a sip of your tea right now so
I
you can
was really
spit it
trying
out.
to come up with one.
Oh, it's brutal. There's not
D.
Eskridge.
That doesn't count. That's not. What? Stop it. That doesn't count.
Is this year 4 for D?
Year 4.
Yeah.
Him and Trey Brown.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, but he's not even supposed to he's not even supposed to be here. He's like Dante. The only name I could come up with that's not a surprise camp cut. That's an expected camp cut.
They don't have one. They really don't.
Jaron Reed was the only name I could come
He's
up
not
with.
getting cut.
I
They
don't
move
think so
money
either.
around.
I
They
know.
rewarded it. He's not getting cut.
I needed to come up with a name, and I put his name with question
I mean,
marks.
Laken Tomlinson could, honestly.
Yeah, there's
McLendon
another one.
Curtis and Christian Haynes and Anthony Bradford and all these guys play really, really well.
That's probably a good
But he's
answer
making
as well.
such little money that would make no sense. So, yeah.
Who will be the best shape of his life storyline during camp? Who are we going to hear is in the best shape of his life?
I think Charles Cross is way up there, man. And not that he has ever fallen out of shape like his buddy Anthony Bradford down the line, but just looking at Charles and looking at the way he's moving and knowing he's going to play in a system that is a little more, it's not air raidy, it's not no huddle like college, but it's going to push tempo as much as any in this league. That dude looks like he's in phenomenal shape. So I'm going to say Charles.
I got 2 answers again on this one. Geno Smith, since he was the fastest guy at OTAs or whatever that was.
Photos.
Yeah, the shirtless photos.
He does look good.
And Jackson Smith and Jigba, mostly because the guy that just arrived outside, Scott, wearing some sort of a salmon-colored outfit. Yeah. He's going to talk about it nonstop, but by all accounts, both guys are in the best shape of their life, so they're the storylines. Maybe Charles Cross will be on there as well. All
I
right.
mean, have you guys seen Ken Walker?
Yeah, Maura's in here being like, yeah, running backs.
Best shape of his life?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Thanks, Maura.
Maura weighing in.
I mean, I got to trust her on that.
With kind of a
Both
giggle.
I mean, both the running backs.
Yeah.
Looked
Did you hear that little
incredibly
giggle
big
too?
at
I heard a little giggle. Why
Charles,
are you
did you hear a
giggling
little
about
giggle? Charles, did you hear that little giggle from Maura?
I couldn't hear a giggle at all.
He did not discern the giggle.
Thank you, Charles.
That was a serious answer. That wasn't a giggle. It was a rapid fire answer.
Ken Walker?
Brock, rapid fire.
Have you seen Ken Walker with a shirt
off? What will be the chippiest matchup at camp? It's got to be DK and Spoon, right?
Yeah, I don't know how much they will be matched up. I think Reek, based on not being real happy about his 91 ranking last, I think old Reek Woolen and DK, whoever DK is going to be lined up against,
right in the same area.
Yeah, Mike Jackson, Trey Brown, Spoon. Yeah, I think DK could be a little bit of a man possessed and going to let guys know about it.
I hope it's not DK and Gino is the chippiest matchup at any point during camp. That's not what you're looking for.
No,
all right, who is going to dominate, Brock, the pass rush drills? Those are your favorite one-on-one pass rush drills. I have two names on my list that I would like to see dominate. Who will dominate the pass rush drills?
Big Cat is they're gonna have a real hard time. Any of those guys blocking him guard to guard. Like who's gonna block that guy? Christian Haynes, Anthony Bradford. You get your two centers giving up a lot of size and length. Like that's gonna be Big Cat's gonna have a real hard time getting blocked. And then obviously the fire hydrant with legs is also going to be very difficult. He's going to get underneath those guys.
That's Byron Murphy?
Yeah.
See, you went on the inside. I'm sort of hoping it's on the outside. I hope that we talk about how Charles Cross is dominant during those drills, except I also hope we talk about Boye Mafe. I'd really like for this to be a breakout season for Boye Mafe. He's a really likable player. He's got all the physical tools. He's now been in the league long enough that whatever sort of it's not immaturity, but like sort of inexperience he had playing the game.
You
He
got
now
enough
has
of
that.
that. Yes.
Right? Like you have to be developed well enough at this point to go make your mark, and I would love to see him turn
was
into
it the pass rush drill that turned into the melee when we were down by the barn? Oh my gosh.
Yes. Frank Clark.
Is that scene still like vivid in your
Dirtiest thing I've ever seen in person.
Oh gosh, it's gross.
Dirtiest thing I've ever seen in person. Snuck up behind him and punched him square in the
Sucker
jaw.
punched him.
Unbelievable.
Oh my gosh.
Truly unbelievable.
And then Justin Britt, he snapped. And the Gatorade.
That was crazy. That whole scene was totally crazy. Brock, who will be the loudest coach?
That scene was like out of Pulp Fiction, by the way. It just was crazy. Loudest coach?
We're out of Reservoir Dogs, but yeah.
Yeah.
Who will be the loudest coach?
I think Grubb. I think you're going to hear a lot of Ryan Grubb. Huff's not really wired that way. I don't know too many of the other offensive coaches in that regard. I just know, it'd be fun if Dirty is to hear that English accent just like Crossfire Soccer sprayed across all the fields. But he actually is English. Like his is a real one. But I'm going to say, sorry, that's a shot once again at Crossfire. That's not nice.
Jeez.
God, great job. It's just everyone's got a fake English accent. I'm going to say Grubster.
Cool. I
Can I call him
don't have an
Grubster?
answer to this one. I don't know. I was really just asking you. I don't have an answer to this.
Yeah. He likes to get after it.
Who will be the talk of training camp?
Woo. Is this our final one? I feel like
Final
we've
question.
busted through these plays.
Final
Okay,
question.
Good. So I
Who
can
will
take some
be
time
the
here
talk
before
of
Blue
training camp?
I think it's going to be Gino. I think Gino's going to be the talk of camp. Quarterback naturally is. Look at all these camps. Look at all the different headlines. Look at all the around the NFL, from Dak Prescott to Jordan Love sitting in to Caleb Williams to all the rookies. It's always the quarterback. And in this case, the snub factor for Gino is like at an all-time high. Like it's never been more real. Even more, it feels even more so than when he went into that year as the starter after Russ, because I think cumulatively everybody looked at the team and was like, not going to be any good. Now it's like, Gino's just not good enough. Even when I was at the Fox seminar, one of my peers, I was just like, that's not nice. Because he was talking about doing games, like, oh gosh, and you see Gino. I said, what do you got wrong with Gino? Gino's pretty good. Gino's pretty efficient. Gino's PFF ratings. Gino's come back.
What did he say?
Well, he was pretty warm at that point. I don't even think he listened to me.
He's
So
just like,
but
whatever, dude. I don't know
I'm gonna say Gino from a personality, from grabbing hold of this thing, from knowing that, hey, man, it's now or never. Like, I think Geno's going to be a lot of the talk.
I'm going to say it's JSN. Followed by Witherspoon. That your 2 first-round picks from last year are the guys that are going to step up and kind of be the talk of camp. What
about DK? What about DK? Where is he? He's got to be on this list somewhere too, right?
Yeah, I mean, his name could be there. Yeah.
I mean, I know we had some back and forth about how much he was there, how much he wasn't there in the OTAs. He wasn't there every day. I will say that definitively, and if heard enough sound on our airways about that. So where is he? You know, where is he in this post kind of Pete era? Where is he with this new regime? Where is he? We know receivers are always temperamental and volatile all around the league and want theirs, right? Watching TK kind of process a whole new regime, right? And say what you will, and certainly he and Pete, and Pete was patient with him, but they had a history, right? They cried together. They took their shirts off together. And Pete loved that dude, right? He just loved that dude. This is a whole new regime, man. Whole new system. A lot of other good receivers, too. I think that from a volatility must-watch and temperamental, it always is receivers. And DK in particular, we know, can be an emotional guy.
Speaking of taking your shirts off, can we come back to your comment yesterday? Justin brought it up this morning because he wasn't
about
in.
the bath?
Yeah.
No, we don't need to do that. I don't know. It was a slippage.
Oh, I thought
it was a slippage.
I thought you were talking about this comment.
You guys seen Ken Walker?
That didn't sound like you. Like, I've been listening to you talk for 3 years now we've been doing this?
Right.
I've never heard you sound like that.
I wasn't as creepy as Brock.
Yeah,
He's
you
just
were.
in really good shape.
Yeah.
It was kind
Play
of
it again,
Brock level.
Justin.
Honestly, I'm not joking. You know,
Yeah,
I
it
would
was
never
Brock level.
accuse you of
Conversation is
this.
who's in the best shape of their life. I've been at OTAs.
It was
Ken
the-
Walker's
Yes.
up there.
It was the way
You guys seen Ken Walker? Oh my God. Well, because you were naming everyone else on the team. Charles Cross, for God's sake. Ken Walker's ripped.
I'm just saying, I've listened. We've sat here across the glass from each other for it's about to be 3 years.
Oh, and we've known you for 10.
There's no reason to hate us.
The look Maura gave me when I played it was just so good.
I've just never heard you sound like that. That was a new voice. After 3 years of the Maura voice, I got a
good news.
voice.
It just seemed like an obvious choice to me. So
The good news is we've got a very neutral arbiter. Okay, Charles, good thing for us running the board today. Charles, do you hear anything there different in Maura's voice as you listen to that?
Well, I didn't notice anything about what was going on, and as the taxi driver from Three's Company says, I didn't hear nothing, I didn't see nothing, and I don't know nothing.
All right, we gotta go.
You guys seen Ken Walker?
Right to Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
We take you to the field as Brock Heward breaks down 3 football questions as only he can.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Raise your hand if you have that on the bingo card for today.
What, more?
Michael
Maura
Bumpus
talking
just
sultry
weighed
about
in.
K9
He
or what?
texted me.
What'd he say?
He said you definitely sounded intrigued.
Thank you. Maura, we know you very well. You're like the most professional person I know.
Yeah, you never let your guard down like that.
You guys seen Ken Walker?
All right, if Bump said it, he's a pretty neutral arbiter. All right, Brock, question number one.
Focus.
God, isn't this more fun than the way we started the show? UW picked 10th in the Big Ten media poll. That's 10 out of 10, right? That's dead last?
In the Big Ten?
Wait, there's 30 teams in the Big Ten, sorry. They're picked to finish 10th in the, 2016 Big Ten?
So, honestly, how many teams are in the Big Ten?
16.
Close.
18.
There you go.
Okay.
10th is about right. I would have thought, honestly, somewhere between 8 and 10. They're not in the top 7. They're not in the class of Ohio State and Oregon and Penn State and Michigan, even SC, Wisconsin. You get to 8, 9, 10, Nebraska, Rutgers, Washington. I think you're kind of in that mix. You're not at the bottom of it with Purdue and Indiana and Northwestern and Michigan State. And so, yeah, I think that's about right. Vegas has them at somewhere at 6.5, 7. So if they could have landed a few of their O-line targets in the transfer portal, that's where it's going to hurt. I mean, that's where watching this, obviously there's no Penix, and his arm talent was off the charts. Receivers still good, running backs great, capable tight ends, some good pieces defensively, certainly the second and third levels. But the line of scrimmage is going to be a hard watch. It's going to be hard to watch. Coming off Roger and Troy, Braylon Trice, like NFL dude, NFL dude, NFL dude, NFL dudes that transferred. Yeah, they just could not replenish that pipeline. And as I was talking to Dan Lanning at our seminar, I got to do the Zoom with Dan in front of all my peers, which was pretty fun. And I said, hey, man, as you've studied the Big Ten and spent your whole offseason looking at all these new opponents, you're going to go into their place and everything else. Anything jump out? And he's like, yeah, man, it's still a line of scrimmage league. Right? You still have the Iowas and the Wisconsins and these teams, Salk, that know thyself, know their culture, know that they're not speed demons, but know how to grow them pretty big and pretty physical at the line of scrimmage. That will be the test for a Husky team. That's about right. 8, 9, 10. In this case, 10 in the media poll. I understand where that's coming from.
All right, question number 2. We went through the Seahawks and the PUP list on Friday. You were out. I did want to circle back to it.
Yeah.
I was a little concerned that the two linebackers are both there, given the depth problems and the fact that we haven't seen them. And then Abe Lucas, for all of some of the positive talk, Pete still used that word chronic, and to see him out there on PUP is sort of concerning.
Yes.
Any thoughts on the PUP list to start camp?
I think your instinct and your gut is spot on. These linebackers are going to be on the shorter term. They're not going to hit the ground running. You're going to hear probably today that they're still on PUP. We've seen a couple guys come off, right? We saw Bradford come off of it. They had to kind of, for some reason, designate it last week. So he's going to be hitting the ground running, which is great. He needs to get himself into some pretty good shape. He's going to be tested with his conditioning and everything else. But I think you're going to see, and I know you're going to see both these linebackers start out on it with the expectation that it will be short term. Is that short term by this weekend? Is that short term by the start of next week? I would sure hope so, man. And that's not only for them, but it's also for Tyrese Knight. Right? You want that young guy to watch these guys do it. Part of the reason you drafted him where you did to develop him is to see a couple guys on one-year deals who've been there and done it in the league, Salk, to watch them and not just throw him into the fire. And we know that's a thin position. I'm right there with you. I'm concerned with Abe Lucas. This is not going to be a short term. He's not going to clear. They're going to continue to, I think, be very patient with a very big man with a very tedious situation with that knee.
Look at that. Not even a little. Question number 3.
Well, I mean, that's why you brought in George Fant. That's why you brought in a guy that can start at right tackle.
I was hoping not to have to use him right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, I don't know if that's a week. I don't know if that's 2 weeks. I don't know if that's a whole preseason. I don't know what that looks like.
It lends more credibility to that word chronic, unfortunately.
It does. And the two linebackers,
challenge.
Yep. You can have an expectation they're going to play sooner than later. I think, Abe, they're going to continue to be very, very careful.
All right, question number 3. What do you make of this NFL top 100 list compared to Jeremy Fowler's list after talking to all the coaches and scouts and all that?
So if I get it's always dangerous to do math on live radio, but if I get Jeremy Fowler's top 10, right? Top 10 in every position group, how many are we looking at? Receiver, tight end, O-line, running back, quarterback. I mean, that's 50 there and about the same maybe defensively. So, he's got his quote-unquote top 100 players, and they're wanting to see out in it. The peers look at it a little bit differently, right? I think DK belongs on that list, and he does. And right now the highest ranked until you're going to see Spoon. So you had 0 in the top 10 you had 1 in a Spoon. In this case, I think you're going to get 4, maybe even 5. Would I be surprised if Big Cat lands in the 70s here? I would not. Would I be surprised if Spoon lands in the 40s or 50s or 60s? Absolutely not. Because I think those guys playing across on the other side see things, feel things, compete against them in ways that those guys upstairs don't always see, think, and feel. So, and once again, I think when we did these top 10 lists, we reminisced back to the wonderful year of 2009 when the Seahawks were 5-11, did not have a top 100 except Mebane at like 99 as a gift. Yeah, this is a different team. There's more talent on it, and certainly more emerging talent. It's going to have every opportunity to pop in 2024.
That is today's Blue 88. Let's see. Brian in Lubbock says, please add that Mora soundbite to the opening of the show every day. Wow.
Yeah.
That's not nice. I'm not going to read that one.
Which one?
All right. Mora, Ken asked me to ask you who you would like if you had to like someone. And that's kind of funny.
This is getting so bad.
206 just loves Charles. Put that man on the mic more. Yes, we all love Charles. He's great.
I'm great to be on the air with you guys.
Thank you, Charles. Who is Charles? Is that AI? I'm a little confused. No, Charles isn't a real person. He's helping out. He fills in sometimes when Moore or Justin are out. He runs the board. He's a great dude. We love Charles.
Yes, I'm a real person. I'm not a computer.
You sound like a computer while you're saying that. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the people think. Does K9 have long fingers? All right. You know what?
Can I hear? Let me just hear it one more time, and I'll shut up because it's a little giggle at the end, right? And I've been laughing over it. Let me just kind of, if you
have to
mind.
be very quiet.
Okay, be quiet, Justin. Who's going to come in?
You guys seen Ken Walker?
It's kind of the breathlessness that
Laura,
runs
I'm
out.
sorry.
Right?
It's definitely not your normal voice. I don't know what to say. I don't know what I'm not insinuating anything other than that is not your normal voice talking about Ken
What was that old thing, Laurel or Annie?
One
What was it,
person
Laurel?
on here got it. 509 says she was saying it like you guys are morons for not bringing it up.
Oh, sure.
Is that what you were saying?
Yes.
What do you hear? Do you hear Laurel?
I hear Yanni. Definitely Yanni. I don't know. Maybe it's Laurel. All right. Enough fun with the Seahawks. We have to go back to the pain and punishment and torture that has been talking about Mariner baseball today. I guess you could take some solace that as bad as you feel, Scott feels worse. That's next on Brock and Salk.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
Ty France has been placed on outright waivers. He was a guy who was an all-star a couple of years ago. We'll see what happens with him. A team can claim him off of waivers. They would be on the hook for what he's owed. He's not picked up. He can be outrighted to AAA. Now he's got enough service time where he can reject that and say, no, I'm going to be a free agent. We'll see what happens.
We've kind of talked about, well, maybe the guys in the clubhouse aren't going to like that. They're professionals. They understand how this game goes and how difficult it is.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman speaking to those who have recently been diagnosed with prostate cancer. I spoke with Dr. Meyer, the medical director of the Swedish Radiosurgery Center, and Dr. Meyer said Swedish CyberKnife patients are really satisfied with their experience. They report very few side effects, and they're seeing excellent cancer control 10 years later. To learn more about CyberKnife for prostate cancer, go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate or call 206-320-7187. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
Lexus is electrified, and the first ever RZ450E has the performance and range to get you where you need to go. With the exclusive Lexus Direct 4 all-wheel drive technology, Lexus of Bellevue has over 50 RZs available for immediate delivery with electrifying savings. Up to $18,500 lease cash on every RZ450E. Visit LexusofBellevue.com.
On approval of credit through LFS. Lease cash from Lexus available on select 2024 RZ styles. Must take delivery by July 31st, 2024. A documentary service fee up to $200 may be added to the purchase price or capitalized costs. See dealership for details.
Transform your outdoor space with Synthetic Turf Northwest, the Northwest's leader in synthetic turf solutions for 28 years, serving Seattle, Tacoma, and Bellevue. Specializing in residential backyard golf greens, custom play areas, and pet-friendly systems, we create stunning, low-maintenance landscapes for every need. Our artificial grass systems offer unmatched durability and beauty, tailored to your lifestyle. Now through July 31st, beat the heat and save up to $1,000 off your project. SyntheticTurfNorthwest.com, 425-788-0718. Enhance your backyard with Synthetic Turf Northwest, where expertise meets excellence.
The biggest scuba sale in America starts Thursday at Underwater Sports in North Seattle. Clearance prices on masks, regulators, computers, fins, tanks, BCs, free photo and video seminars, free fitting, and incredible savings on a custom-fit dry suit. Learn to scuba dive. Big savings on beginner classes. Underwater Sports' 47th Annual Divers Fair starts this Thursday at the North Seattle Underwater Sports Store, 107th and Aurora Avenue North. Don't miss the biggest scuba sale in America.
Hey, Bob Stelton here, and have you heard that metal roofs are all the rage? A metal roof lasts longer, it's more eco-friendly, and is a great option for adding solar panels. Asset Roofing is leading the local push in metal roofing, and they can even offer metal roofs for up to 30% less than their competitors. You're either hiring a liability or you're hiring an asset. Head to AssetRoofingCo.com.
Certified work that's never in doubt. Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
You gotta love baseball season, but when it comes to your windows, you don't want any curveballs. Rick Riz here, reminding you to trust your clubhouse with locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Experience the difference with high-quality products, expert installation, and top-notch customer service. It's always a home run with Pella. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Just go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get the freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Presented by Simply Seattle.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
I got to admit something, Brock. I was pretty mad earlier. I was very upset at 6, continued through it at 6:30, 7, 7:15. But the last 30 minutes of talking about the fun and excitement of football about to start tomorrow, the laughing at Maura for her vocal tonnage there, talking about Ken Walker, Charles's Three's Company, Joe, all of it put together. I'm not as mad right now, which is hard because I should be, because what we all witnessed last night was the culmination of really 5 or 6 weeks of some really terrible baseball. Scott lost his patience, and I think completely understandably. That was an ugly baseball game, and afterwards he spoke in a way that we don't always hear him talk.
Yeah, it's a whole team. Yeah, you got to play well. You got to score more runs. Obviously, our pitching has been the strength of our club. Our bullpen's done a nice job for the majority of the year. We have gifted them some runs lately, not just in tonight's game, but previous games. And for me, it goes back to, a situation. You got to go take it. Nobody's going to give you anything in this game. And you constantly have to be on the attack in this league. And if you're not, you let your guard down, and you don't stay with that aggressive mindset, afraid to lose, you're going to lose. And you won't make pitches, you won't make plays, you won't get hits. So, that has to change here, mindset-wise. And, it's been a rough go for us in a number of different areas, certainly offensively. The walks, they get magnified. You're giving a team opportunities, and when you do that, eventually they're going to come through, and that's what happened tonight.
We talked with Shannon yesterday, right, about the pitchers and how patient they have been, Salk, and what unbelievable teammates they have been. and once again doing their job and a quality start plus 7 shutout innings. I mean, arguably one of Bryce's best ever.
I thought he was as good last night as I can ever remember. Other than like those first 2 starts against Oakland when he first came up.
Right.
Honestly, I thought he was as good last night as he's ever been.
Yeah, and the umpire certainly helped as a big zone.
Big strike zone.
Yeah, it was a big strike zone.
It didn't hurt him. That's
but it's
for
big
sure.
both ways,
Yeah.
and like you didn't make adjustments. Like, you know.
I mean, neither did they, but yes.
I know. Neither did over the course of that
It wasn't
game.
quite big enough for Ryan Stanek.
No.
I mean, the big strike zone doesn't help when you're throwing the ball 3 or 4 feet outside the strike zone.
Like not even close. But you know what I hear there is Shannon alluded to, and the patience and just the good teammates these pitchers have been. I've heard that to me sounds like the battery made of a pitcher. That to me was Scott Service, the longtime Major League Baseball gritty, tough catcher. Like enough is enough at some point. Not even like the managerial dad that we have some fun with. That was like a catcher having his pitcher's back. Oh, you want to charge the mound? I'm going to choke you out before you get there, right? Like enough. I mean, 21% of their games, so 21 times they have scored 1 or 0 runs. 52% of the time, this was a Luke Arkins tweet, 52% of the time they've scored 3 or less runs this year.
That's really remarkable.
That's a hard number.
Really
You're now 28th in runs scored. The only 2 teams scoring less than you are teams not trying to win this year. The White Sox, who are one of the worst teams in the history of baseball, right? And then the Miami Marlins. You're 28th in the league. You've not even scored 400 runs. The Rays are like 398. There's only 4 that have not scored 400, and you're one of them. And that's why. I mean, once again, there is just, you get ahead 3-0. And you get a fastball, you can't do anything with it. You're up 3-1. You get a fastball, can't do anything with it. Right? You get 3 fastballs at the top of the zone for Dylan Moore, and this was in the first inning. Like, this is a chance right here to build on what you did the night before. You get some traffic. Cal gets a nice line drive that falls. You're up, the pitch count's going up. You got first and second, just 1 out. You get a 3-0 count, and then you can't damage. And then it's 3 swings and 3 misses on 3 fastballs by Dylan, the first of 4 strikeouts on a very rough night for him, and you just can't add on. And I believe it was 15 straight batters that Tyler Anderson in his little flapper kick, just.
By the way, that needs to be outlawed. I'm done. This is a side note. It has nothing to do with the Mariners' struggles last night. You mentioned it the other day, Brock. Maybe it was even yesterday. And you're absolutely right. Outlaw this stupid thing. I don't want to see it from Bryce Miller. I don't want to see it from Tyler Anderson. I don't want to see it from nasty Nestor Cortez. I don't want to see it from anybody. I don't want to see it ever again. Take that out of baseball. That's not baseball. It's not.
The only thing
it's
is.
not baseball. That is not baseball. That's dumb.
Dude, I don't know. I said to you guys last night, the fact that he lives at 89 to 91 in today's day and age.
I don't care. Get that out of the game. That is not baseball. With your weird, tricky leg.
So what do you want? What do you want? What do you want Scott to do? 866-979-3776.
What do you want him to do? What do you think he's possibly supposed to do? What I mean, like, was there something you wanted him to do last night that he didn't do? I see people. Last night was a bad lineup. Was there somebody you wanted in the lineup that wasn't in it? What am I missing? Who did you want in the lineup that wasn't in the lineup?
Well, I mean, are we getting close to that point where you're going to start talking about Cade Marlowe? Where you're going to start talking about, obviously, they called up a more veteran AAA bat. It wasn't Ty Locklear. I mean, are we getting to the point where the Bliss, the Locklear, the
Marlowe's, yes, because I think that Class A is not a professional baseball, not a major league player right now. He's just not. He's not a major league player.
You feel these guys get overwhelmed.
Yeah, he's got great speed. He's not a major leaguer right now. We just saw Ryan Bliss. I got to tell you, those were not major league swings that he was taking at the ends of games. Maybe when he started games, he was able to kind of, over the course of it, affect the game at times. But what you saw from him in pinch hitting duties, those were not even close to major league at-bats in those moments, and certainly nothing that is going to help this team snap out of its funk. Now, there is something to the athleticism, and maybe there's some conversation there. Based on the current 25-man, 26-man roster, there is nothing I want to see Scott do. What I would love to see today, you got to bring up somebody for JP. He's going to go on the IL, right? That's probably going to be either Bliss or Rivas.
It should be Rivas. He's had an unbelievable stretch of like 30 games down there.
So let's assume it's Leo Rivas. Okay, great. And he was pretty good when he came up here. He's a pro. I mean, he's a 4A player, which is fine, but he'll come up and give you some serviceable play. There's two other guys that after the Ty France move yesterday are kind of squarely in my crosshairs. And personally, I would not cut either of them, but I think both of them are hurt. Just watching them play, not looking at their medicals, not having any behind the scenes information. I think Ryan Stanek's back is not right. And I thought that watching him pitch last night, specifically trying to throw his fastball, that's not the Ryan Stanek that we've watched all year. He looked hurt to me, and I would IL him immediately and just remove that as an option moving forward. 2, I'm sorry, I watched Mitch Haniger, and that just doesn't look like Mitch Haniger. He can't move. He looks like he's having trouble bending his knees. It looks like watching a guy, honestly, and I love Mitch. I love him. I hate that for any of this to be personal because he's such a good dude. And I really... He's somebody I respect in the game for the way he plays, for the way he attacks the game, for how hard he works. And I hope that if and when this gets back to him, all of those things end up being told with the story as opposed to without it. But he honestly looks right now like a guy whose knees can't bend. Like somebody has put on what are the things that straighten your knee? So when you've injured yourself, that's what he looks like trying to run. Like he can't bend his knees. It's like what I look like when I'm trying to run. Like he just looks so stiff. And because of it, the defense is not close in right field.
To be fair, I was the one told, run hundreds the day after an NFL game. Why do you run like Steven Seagal? And I thought, is that a compliment?
I don't think so.
That can't be a
Probably
compliment.
Not, no.
Yeah. So if anybody runs in that fashion, let's be really clear who that is.
Okay, well,
Steven Seagal over here.
It's tough to watch. He's really struggling to move, and he's not hitting, and especially against lefties, which should be the thing you have him on the team for. He can't hit lefties.
No.
What did we see? He has a 15 OPS plus against lefties? That's like unfathomable for a right-handed hitter. And unfortunately, you need him to hit lefties because the other options there are left-handed. And Canzone and Rayleigh have trouble against lefties.
Yes.
So I would IL both of those guys and live to fight another day with them and sort of figure out where they're at. Do you ever see Mitch again? Maybe not. Maybe you pay him for a little while and you work something out. I don't know how that goes. And maybe he's able to come back after some time off and refocus and just get some of back what he had at the beginning of this season. But I think I'd have some real trouble watching him hit right now and certainly watching him play the outfield. And you're going to need him because Robles is going to have to play center field if Julio's not healthy for a little while. So I think they're in a tough spot.
Oh, this is tough times, man. Tough times.
It is a
require
tough spot.
tough people.
But if I had to, if you asked me to make 2 moves today, 3 rather, Crawford to IL, I'd call up Rivas. Haniger, I would put him on the IL, and I would call up Cade Marlowe or somebody else. I mean, you need a right-handed bat, and I don't know who that is. Marlowe's a left-handed bat, if I'm not mistaken. I may be wrong about that. Let me think about it. And then I would Stanek to the IL and call up one of your other relievers. I don't know which one.
Bizzardo.
I mean, that's probably who's next. I don't know. Whichever guy is next. I mean, they would know whoever is sort of up next on that list. But, I mean, those would be the 3 moves I'd want to make. But it's not like Scott's making those moves. What is he supposed to do with the roster he has right now? Ty France is on it, and he can't play. Julio's on it, and he can't play. And then a bunch of guys are on it, and they can't hit. What's he supposed to do? He's got Rojas and Rayleigh in a game yesterday against a lefty. He doesn't want to do that. That's not what he's looking to do. His hands are tied. So, yeah, you kind of take it from there. Is Cade Barlow bat righty or lefty?
Can we just play that Morris sound again and start laughing again?
That was more fun, wasn't it?
Crying out loud?
Yeah.
Gosh.
That was definitely more fun. He does bat lefty, as I thought. So,
I remember that.
That's a bit of a challenge as well. So, all little challenges for them to try to deal with. We'll take a
have
break.
you guys seen Ken Walker?
Have you? I don't know. We'll see Jeff Passan here in 20 minutes after everything you need to know next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
How does management view this team now? Are they looking at this team and saying, man, don't matter what we add, we don't really have the firepower to make a push? Or are they looking at this team and saying, all right, we didn't equip them. We didn't give them the artillery, the arsenal that they needed to really stay in the fight. Let's go ahead and get it because they've shown us at some point in the season they can handle it a little bit.
The Mariners lead the league in quality starts. You have an amazing pitching staff. Don't punt on this season because you don't have the offense that you want.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
You know the answer to this. I know the answer to this. Kind of a rhetorical question. Have you been with the same insurance agent carrier so long you just assume they're doing right? Are you frustrated by these rising premiums? Do you even know what you have covered in your insurance? Well, Molly and I heard so many First Mark Challenge victories that saved people so much money. We decided, let's take this challenge. Put the ball in their court. Let's have them be our teammate and do the work. And boy, am I glad we did. It has saved us thousands on our premiums. And just as importantly, we know exactly what we have covered. And they'll do the same for you. Here's how they go to work for you. They fully analyze your current coverage, making sure you're not overpaying for the wrong coverage. And heck, if you got the right coverage at the right price, they'll tell you that too. But more than likely, you don't. And that's where they go to the market. Dozens of major carriers they've worked with to find you the best fit. That's it. There's no stress. There's no confusion. It's totally free. They're your teammate doing the work for you. And they spent the last 30 years helping thousands of families successfully manage the complicated world of insurance. So don't wait a morning longer. Take the First Mark Challenge. It's totally free. And you might be the next First Mark Challenge victory that I get to call. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com. First Mark Insurance, your teammate that goes to work for you.
Hey golf fans, Dan Wilson here, inviting you to join me at the 2024 Boeing Classic. See Masters champions and Golf Hall of Famers live at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge from August 9th through 11th. It's your chance to experience the only PGA Tour champion stop in the Pacific Northwest and see golf's biggest stars. Grab the whole family and come on down to join the action. It's a golf experience you won't want to miss. The Boeing Classic at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge from August 9th through the 11th. For $20 tickets, visit BoeingClassic.com.
Are you a skilled plumber looking for a top-rated team? Join Ben's Plumbing, rated 5 stars for exceptional service. Enjoy great pay and benefits, a supportive team, and a non-commissioned plumbing career. Apply now at Ben's.Plumbing. That's Ben's.Plumbing.
Kinematics Marine Equipment reminds listeners many boaters take to the water this time of year, and one of the biggest safety barriers is alcohol. The problem is alcohol sends clear-headed thinking overboard. Remember, boating is only pleasurable if you play it safe. Please, on the waterways, as on the roadways, don't drink and drive. An important reminder from the entire team at Kinematics Marine Equipment, your nationwide source for marine deck gear for over 40 years. Online at kinematicsmarine.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The 2024 Seahawks season is almost here. Get fitted for game days with jerseys, caps, and tees, including the 2024 Training Camp Collection. Visit the Seahawks Pro Shop at the Landing in Renton and Lumen Field, or online at Seahawks.com/Pro Shop.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Roof now, pay later. Hi, I'm Sam Thomason, owner of State Roofing. Take advantage of our 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to a year. We've partnered with leading lenders to make the replacement or repair of your roof affordable. Flexible financing options are available to take the worry out of an unexpected expense. Call us today at 866-ROOF-ROOF to schedule a free no-obligation estimate or visit us at stateroofing.com. That's stateroofing.com.
State Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
Kick off summer by checking out the incredible showroom at Toyota of Kirkland. With a wide selection of Camrys on the lot, including the brand new 2025 Hybrid Camry, along with the new inventory of Tundras and Tacomas. All with a lifetime powertrain warranty, you're in for a summer to remember. The unbeatable team at Toyota of Kirkland will set up your test drive, and you can take that car home the same day. Get your summer groove on at Toyota of Kirkland or visit online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
O'Brien.
High five. Up top. Heck Heck yeah!
Dave's company just got the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah, 5 years!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
High five for gig speed.
5 years of advanced security.
Security win.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Our rate ain't changing.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
There it is.
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Woohoo!
Now he's got savings.
I'm so excited.
Yep, Dave's feeling it. But it's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Switch today and ask how to get the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Powering 5 years of savings. Powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping. Woo!
Ends 8/21/24. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Need to know. Brought to you by Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
I don't know if it was the worst loss of the year specifically, but it did feel like the culmination of a lot of bad losses over the last 5 or 6 weeks, and it all led up to yesterday. Playing a minor league lineup with no Julio, with no Ty France, with a weird energy around the team yesterday. They were only able to score 1 run. They struck out 14 times. That was actually pretty predictable. It's what happened after Bryce Miller gave you 7 dominant shutout innings that really was problematic. 2 walks to lead off the 8th from Ryan Stanek. That led to a run. 2 walks with 2 outs from Trent Thornton in the 9th, and that led to 2 more.
Thornton ready, kicks, delivers, swinging a ground ball up the middle into center field for a base hit. Drury to third, being waved in. Up at the ball, Robles. The throw to the plate, way up the third base line. The ball gets away from Cal. Drury scores. Here comes Neto, rounding third, heading home. He's going to score. The ball is loose up the first base side. Backing up is Thornton. He gets to the ball along the first base line, but 2 runs are in.
Yeah, that was super ugly. And, you know, again, it's not just that they gave up the runs. It's the Little League nature in which it happened, right? 2 walks followed by the sac fly. 2 walks followed by, honestly, a play that Robles could have made better yesterday, right? I mean, he double clutched, which allowed the run to score, and then he still threw it away. That's a bad combo, and it looked bad.
Yeah. Yeah, and Scott just had enough. Kind of waiting through 70, through 80, through 90, through 100 games. Like, this guy's unbelievably patient, but last night was like enough.
We've been looking for somebody to step up and just kind of say, hey, enough of this. I mean, you're doing it now, but do you need a guy in there to say, hey, enough of this? We got to do something different because it just hasn't been working right now.
It all depends where we want to be 60 days or 60 games from now. You playing playoff baseball, you want to be driving home.
Yeah, and that's really a choice that everybody in that clubhouse is going to have to make. 4 straight now they've lost to the Angels. Logan Gilbert tonight, Luis Castillo tomorrow. 2 best pitchers on the hill going to need to avoid losing 9 of 10 series.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
It was a weird day over at the ballpark. Ty France was saying goodbye, even though he was still on the roster and available to play last night. It was very strange.
Yeah, a little caught off guard, but I mean, I understand at the end of the day it's business, and not performing to the best of my abilities, so anything could happen.
Well, anything will. He did clean out his locker and say goodbye to his teammates after the game. So, where's he going? It's a good question. There were some rumors yesterday that maybe it would be either Boston or Houston that would have some interest in him. But are they going to pay his salary and claim him? I don't know. We'll see. And if not, he probably could have DFA'd him in order to make this happen. It would have been a lot cleaner. Regardless, they do call up Jason Vossler yesterday. He's a
journeyman.
Journeyman. Yeah, he's played with Cincinnati. He's been around, professional type of hitters. Had a pretty good year in Tacoma, and maybe he can provide a few professional at-bats for this team in the next few weeks.
Yeah, sometimes I just don't understand. Not Ty's comments. He does. He understands. Like, this has been 2 years. Like,
right.
You know, I've been given plenty of opportunity, plenty of at-bats, plenty of starts to get myself out of this. And, you know, as I said, kudos to him. He did all he could this offseason to try to transform his body and his swing, and it just unfortunately didn't work. I don't understand the sentiment like of a J.P. Crawford that can somehow be upset about this.
I don't get it.
It's kind of like Richard Sherman at the end there in Seattle. Like, come on, Richard. Like, you know the business of it. Like, this is the way the business side of it works.
But even more than that, like, what did you expect them to do?
Right.
You expect them to wait forever? Did Ty France, was he so good that he deserved endless? I mean, like, I don't know that I would have done it necessarily with France, and there are guys who have been performing worse. But frankly, JP is one of them and has flown mostly under the radar. Correct. So, yeah, I don't get that one at all. Maybe it was just, I think, if the frustration is just that
That's my buddy. Like, that's my, I get it, man.
It's not just that if you would defade him, fine. But you're trying to save $2 million, and that's what I'm upset about. I guess I get that. But honestly, that's what every team would do. That's not just a Mariner thing. You try to do it for free, and if it doesn't work, then you spend the money on it. This isn't supposed to leak. It's not supposed to get out. Once it did, that's when it became. That's really the problem and why it became ugly.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Well, and we have been talking about it throughout the morning. Training camp really starts today with the veterans reporting. They will practice for the first time tomorrow with no holdouts and no real major drama or anything like that. Sounds like they are looking at another center/guard, Connor Williams, who's had some pretty good years in the NFL, but is coming off ACL surgery, scheduled to meet with the team today.
Yeah, no hold-ins, no holdouts, no drama, no noise, just pretty workmanlike. Will be some guys on that PUP list, and hopefully sooner rather than later, the two linebackers that will start there, and both Baker and Dotson, can come off of that list and start practicing, something we've not seen yet. And I think still going to take some time with the big right tackle out of Woodinville. Yeah, I think Abe Lucas are going to be very, very guarded and very, very careful with. And part of the reason they signed a George Fant is to fill that void to a degree. But, yeah, it's going to not be a real noisy camp. Not a lot of expectations. Look around the league. Look at all the headlines. Look at all the storylines. I don't think the Seahawks are going to be in a whole bunch of them. Just going to put the hard hats on and go to work.
All right, that's everything you need to know. 15:15 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. From baseball to football and right back to baseball again. Before we get to our number 14 most intriguing Seahawk today at 9 o'clock, I maybe have found him more intriguing than other people. But to me, he's been one.
You always do. You have a soft spot for these kind of guys.
That's probably true.
You
But
do.
I see him as sort of a linchpin to this season, and maybe that's unfair, but that's kind of how I see him. So he is the 14th most intriguing Seahawk. We'll tell you who that is at 9 o'clock. I should also just tell, today's Tuesday already, right? Hey, guys, don't forget, Thursday's only a couple of days away, and obviously we're going to need some great, so here's the thing. Voice memos left. So make sure you download the Seattle Sports app.
They're going to be feisty.
I would hope.
If they've been a little bit like T-Mobile has been with some of the locals, it could be a little feisty.
The Bluebirds, absolutely. So what kind of feist do you have? Thoughts about any of us? You can go download the app, and at the bottom press where it says talk to us or call in.
We already got one.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
I mean, have you guys seen Ken Walker?
All right. So here's the thing. Have you seen Ken Walker? Anyway, leave us a message, and those will be played Thursday at 8 o'clock. Jeff Passan, next on Brock and Salk.
The Dugout. Go in depth with the Mariners.
Leaps up and he makes the catch.
With voices like Ryan Roland Smith, Gary Hill, and Mike Blowers.
Long-term pitching, if you have that foundation, good things are going to happen.
It makes him so valuable when he's hitting.
This team is a team that's going to have to bunch hits together, put pressure on the defense.
Hear from the players and coaches, and go behind the scenes with insider Shannon Dreyer.
They find a way to grind it out, stay in the game. I thought it was a really good win for them.
The Dugout, Tuesdays at 1 p.m. on Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here. Are you looking for something fun to do? Just 30 minutes from downtown. Snoqualmie Casino's your spot, and they got so much going on. Have you heard about the multi-phase expansion? New hotel, expanded gaming floor, destination spa, 2,000-seat entertainment and convention center, parking structure, and then the two signature restaurants with a third to open later. All of that starts in 2025. It is going to be sweet. They got some great country music coming up as well. Go check out all the details at SNOCasino.com. You know it's only 30 minutes from downtown. Seattle's closest, Snoqualmie Casino.
Did you know there's a revolutionary pediatric cancer treatment called immunotherapy going on at Seattle Children's Hospital? Kids with cancer know that true strength comes from within. And with immunotherapy, they can fight cancer from the inside out with their own superpower. their immune systems. However, pediatric cancer research and trials are severely underfunded. G. Scott here asking you to join the fight for all kidkind. Next time you're at Safeway checkout, please choose to make a donation. Thank you for becoming an immuno hero.
I'm here with my friend Mark Clymer from Wayscar Ford, Isuzu in Auburn. Mark, is now the best time to buy a new car?
Well, it absolutely is right now because we have our factory invoice sale going on right now, which means you're going to pay what we pay. And this is on all our 24 model vehicles, basically, everything except for Raptors. So we're talking F-150s, Rangers, Mavericks, F-250s, Explorers, Escapes, Expeditions. You name it, these are brand new 2024 models. They also come with our lifetime powertrain coverage and 5 days or 500-mile, 100% money-back guarantee, so you can shop with total confidence. There's no negotiating, nothing. You pay what we pay. We're overstocked right now, and we need to make room. We have a lot more vehicles coming in. So, yeah, you're right. If you've been putting it off and you're looking to get a new Ford, for a limited time, we're having our factory invoice sale. You pay what we pay.
Take the hassle out of car shopping. You know you're getting a great deal at Wayscar Ford, Isuzu in Auburn. Wayscarford.com.
Paid political announcement. A Bob for Bob update. Public transparency is for other Bobs. Did you know Attorney General Bob Ferguson's office averaged 80 days to respond to public records requests? 78 days more than the average Washington government office. Can you afford that type of response from your governor as a Washington voter? You heard it here first. Bob wants you to vote Bob because he doesn't have time to respond to you. Paid for by the Bob for Bob Committee, 1283 Puyallup, Washington, 98371. Top 4 donors, Steve Gordon, Fremont Dock Company, Brian Haywood, and Susie Burke.
Overburdened with a bunch of stuff you don't want anymore, but feel bad throwing it away? John here with Happy Hauler, Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We prioritize donating and recycling. We'll help get your items to those in need instead of going to the landfill. At Happy Hauler, we pride ourselves on responsibility, community, and sustainability. We're a family-run small business that provides junk removal, donations, and recycling. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. It's time to reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
The Mariners are all about giving you more baseball for your buck. Snag seats for as little as $10 on select dates all season long with Mariners Value Games. Plus, be sure to check out the Mariners Value Menu, available at every game and featuring 11 items priced from $2.50 to $4. Enjoy ballpark classics like hot dogs and peanuts, new treats like churros and chocolate chip cookies, and more. To get your Value Game tickets and check out all the value options at T-Mobile Park, go to mariners.com/value.
Listen throughout the week to the Mariners Player Spotlight.
Give props to Jerry and Justin. They did a great job bringing in these good group of guys.
Presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Lexus is electrified, and the first ever RZ450E has the performance and range to get you where you need to go with the exclusive Lexus Direct 4 all-wheel drive technology. Lexus of Bellevue has over 50 RZs available for immediate delivery with electrifying savings. Up to $18,500 lease cash on every RZ450E. Visit LexusofBellevue.com.
On approval of credit through LFS. Lease cash from Lexus available on select 2024 RZ styles. Must take delivery by July 31st, 2024. A documentary service fee up to $200 may be added to the purchase price or capitalized costs. See dealership for details.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman speaking to those who have recently been diagnosed with prostate cancer. It's important to know you have several options for treatment. I'm here with Dr. Meyer, medical director of the Swedish Radiosurgery Center, to talk about one of the best and technologically advanced treatment options, CyberKnife. Dr. Meyer, why is CyberKnife one of the best procedures to treat prostate cancer?
Well, treatment for prostate cancer can affect men's quality of life. It can affect their romantic life. It can affect their urine and bowel function. And the CyberKnife does the best job of preserving that function while having excellent cancer control rates.
What do your patients think of the CyberKnife treatment experience?
Well, at the Swedish CyberKnife, our patients are really satisfied with the experience. They report very few side effects, and we are seeing excellent cancer control 10 years later.
To learn more about CyberKnife for prostate cancer, go to swedish.org/CyberKnifeProstate or call 206-320-7187. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
At Buc-ee's, we'll keep you ready for summertime. For over 50 years, Buc-ee's Complete Auto has been servicing and repairing cars and trucks with modern-day technology and good old-fashioned customer service. Buc-ee's is the largest independent family-owned chain in the Northwest. There's a Buc-ee's just about everywhere for factory maintenance, oil changes, wiper blades, air conditioning, brakes, tire rotation, tuning, tune-ups, everything you need to get you running smoothly this summer. No appointment necessary, and financing's available too. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
That's a good text right here to start off with Jeff Passan, who joins us, of course. Matt in Oregon texting in, wait, Passan's on? How is it Friday already? That's a good question. Thank you, Matt, for texting in. Jeff, I feel like we just spoke, but here we are talking again today.
Yeah, all because of my dog, who's laying next to me right now. So she is imbuing this radio hit with spirit and mirth.
Oh, well, if she has spirit and mirth, then she probably wasn't in the Mariner clubhouse after the game last night, because it would have stood out like a sore thumb. There was not a lot of mirth. There was not a lot of spirit. Just a very, very disappointed dad, Scott Service. I don't know if you heard any of the sound, but listen to Scott when Shannon asked him about losing his patience.
You've shown a lot of patience with what you've seen. Why tonight?
Because I'm tired of watching it. Stand up for our guys, believe in them. Some nights, that's not Major League Baseball. We handed them a game.
What do you hear there?
I hear warranted frustration, and I hear a manager who is saying without saying that he feels like he has no answers and they need different players in there because the ones who are there right now are not working. And look, I think it's incumbent on Scott Service as the manager to get the absolute most that he can out of the roster that he is given. But nobody with the Mariners is doing their job well right now. Like, that goes manager, that goes players, that goes up to the people who assembled this offense. And I think everybody deserves at this point, frankly, to be called out for that, because blowing a 10-game lead and then after you have blown a 10-game lead, not rebounding from it, it's almost as bad on the back end as it is on the front end. And something needs to happen, and it needs to happen quick, because otherwise this season, where we have again and again, guys, discussed that when you have as good starting pitching as the Mariners do, it is incumbent to take advantage of that. They are on the precipice of blowing a year where they have a real chance, or had a real chance, I think, to do something special because of their pitching.
Yeah, I'm glad you circle back with that, because I would challenge your point there that all of them in the organization are not doing their job. Their pitching is. I mean, Logan leads the league in whip. George Kirby's top 10 in whip. Bryce Miller puts out his best performance of the season, 7 shutout innings yesterday. Wu comes back. You know, there's some consternation about why did he have Wu against the Astros and everything else, and he deals on Sunday. Like, the pitchers are doing their job, but that's about it, Jeff.
Yeah, that's perfectly fair. And I think there's just when you think of the Mariners right now, this is how bad the offense has been. When you think of the Mariners right now, you think of a terrible offense, not an elite pitching staff. You have to be really bad offensively to overshadow what the pitching has done this season. And, I have a trade deadline preview up on ESPN.com right now. And I was looking because in my head, I wanted to say the Mariners have the best rotation in the American League. It's tough to say that anyone has been better than Philadelphia this year, so I didn't want to go all the way to Major League Baseball, but I just, I wanted to double check, and I looked, and by ERA, by FIP, by all the reasonable measures, this is the best rotation in the American League, and now you have a team that's flirting with 500. That's just unacceptable.
Are they still definitively buyers here at the deadline? Or, if you're 7 days away, if this slide continues and you end up 4 or 5 games behind Houston, does it change that equation?
Could it? Potentially. Should it? I don't think so. And I don't think so because of that pitching. I think I put it something like this in my story, like it's the Mariners' duty at this point to add to this pitching staff, because if the offense is even average, you have a team that not only can win the American League West, guys, but a team that can go very deep into the playoffs. And so I would not let a bad offensive stretch, and by stretch I mean like 100 games, but I would not let a bad offensive stretch torpedo what still could be a very memorable season. And maybe listen, maybe I'm looking at this and looking past how much help they need offensively, because let's in an ideal world scenario, let's look at who would remain in the everyday lineup. Julio Rodriguez, when he's healthy, even though he has struggled, belongs in there. Cal Raleigh.
Jeff, I can help you quickly here. They have two guys who play every day who have above 100 OPS pluses. That's it. It's Julio and Cal. After that, you've got Rayleigh and Dylan Moore and a couple other guys who are part-time players. You got a couple other guys in the high 90s. But they literally have two everyday players who can play against both-handed people that are above 100, that are above average.
Not great, Bob.
No kidding.
Yeah, you have your little, you watch it every day.
Yeah, we do. It's and it hurts. And I snapped last night. Yeah, I snapped on our little text last night. Just got me, and it got the manager equally. You got your little computer pulled up right there, Jeffrey. You're so good on the ones and twos as you pull these things up. Pull up Mitch Garver and Mitch Haniger, and help me understand in what world you could have projected this kind of outcome. I mean, I was looking at Garver's numbers last night, by comparison to just a year ago. And I don't know, is it a platoon thing?
You know what though? Garver had been sort of up and down, hot and cold year over year. He wasn't the guy who was consistently putting up great numbers. He was someone who, when he was healthy and when he was playing regularly, did some things. But he was also someone who was prone to this. Mitch Haniger's another guy who, when he's healthy, when he's right, has been a good player. But both of them are a little bit older, and I think what's been most alarming about this team over the last few seasons, and you pointed this out in our text, Brock, they haven't done well bringing guys in the winter. They have not done well complementing the pieces that they've grown internally with outside bats. And the number of guys they've missed on, whether it's Colton Wong last year or the Mitches and Jorge Polanco this year, in theory, at the time, they were not unreasonable acquisitions. They weren't like top of the market by any means, but when you're limited financially, there's only so much you can do, and when you want to hold on to this great starting pitching staff, there's only so much you can do. And I think the argument that Mariners fans can reasonably make at this point is, should they have dealt one of their starters? Maybe you don't have 5 elite guys like they do right now, but 4 is still pretty good. I understand, though, the instinct to want to have a rotation that you can roll out that can be that effective every single game of the season. And so more than sitting here and being like abjectly critical of that, I think it's fair to say it was a decision that was made, an understandable decision, but maybe not the right decision considering the deficiencies in other areas.
Do you think that there are jobs that are on the line right now?
If there aren't, there should be. And I think when you're talking about jobs, you're probably talking more like front office managing coaches. But I think Ty France illustrates that players' jobs are on the line. If you're going to fold when it gets hard, there is no place, and there shouldn't be a place. And it will be like one of the more fascinating things to me over the next week will be seeing how the Mariners reshape their roster, because I feel like that is what they need to do. And reshape is like, that's a hard thing to do on the fly. That is a hard thing to do when you have an eye on the future too, and recognize that you have a great farm system. And that's why, to me, the criticism that's levied at the Mariners front office for not putting together a representative offense is completely warranted. But this isn't like a lot of other organizations that are trying to win and doing so at the expense of their farm system. If the Mariners farm system was a tire fire right now, then I think, training the eye on that front office and saying, what you've done on the offensive side at the big league level is not good enough. And, we need to consider looking in another direction. But where they are with their farm system, where they are with pitching development, with the things that they have figured out how to do well, I don't see how you can do that. I just think that it's easy to get caught up in the right now and how bad it is. But when you look at the organization holistically, compared to the vast majority of their peers, the Mariners are actually in a pretty good place long term. And long term doesn't solve today, but when we're talking about jobs, long term is frankly the goal for every organization out there. It's setting yourself up so that in future years you have opportunities, and the Mariners have a lot of opportunity to make noise in future years. It's just the noise that they're making right now is a whimper.
So Jeff Passan here with us, as he is every Tuesday, sometimes Fridays too. So do you trust them to trade a Felny and Celestine, a Harry Ford, Cole Emerson? Do you trust them to trade those valuable pieces based on the veteran acquisitions of the last 2 or 3 years?
I don't think they've made that kind of a deal, Brock, where they trade a big name or a big time prospect. So I don't know how that's going to turn out. Clearly, the evaluation that they've had is through the prism of, we have X amount of dollars, right? And we're going to go out and try to maximize that. And I don't think that we can look past this notion that they have been hamstrung a little bit financially. Listen, every team has to play in its financial sandbox, right? So some teams have done so better. Kansas City didn't have an infinite budget this offseason, but what they did with their budget beyond sign Bobby Witt Jr. to a long-term contract is go out and get Seth Lugo, who's been one of the 5 best pitchers in the American League this year. Go out and get Michael Wacha, who's helped stabilize things in the rotation. And go out and get Hunter Renfroe, who's been pretty good lately, but had struggled likewise along with the Mariners hitters. And that's where I think it gets a little bit dangerous. If you don't have the ability to go out with limited finance and put together the type of team that you need to, clearly you're missing on some things. And that's part of the job. You can't sit here and blame everything on ownership. At some point, it's just a brass tack situation. The reality is that you have this much money. It's still incumbent on you to do something with it and to put together something worthy of this pitching staff, and they have failed at that.
And to be fair, Jerry came on our show last week, took onus of that. I mean, he took all the responsibility and put it on him that, the forecast, the projections, whatever it was, like he was not darting and dancing and said, it starts with me. It starts with us not doing enough, on the offensive side with the acquisitions they've made. And yeah, when you do look at the two Mitches and you look at the $4 million to Urias and you start to add up, where those dollars went and the production that's followed, you could see why Scott, after 102 games, finally kind of lost it yesterday.
Yeah. So the other thing Jerry said when he was on with us, and it's been pointed out in unfortunately bold-faced type the last few games, is that they still need bullpen help. For all of the conversations we've had about the bats, with a better bullpen, they actually win, 3 of the last 4 games they lost against the Angels that were blown late? We barely talked about it. What does the bullpen trade market look like here in the next week?
I mean, there are a lot of opportunities to go and get good relievers. It's probably, frankly, the one position that has guys who you're like, oh, okay, well, he's a guy. Tanner Scott with the Marlins. Yeah, he's a guy. It's mostly right-handed, though, like that, Scott's the one big lefty out there, but right-handers, you can get Carlos Estevez from the Angels. You can get Pete Fairbanks or Jason Adam from the Rays. You can get Lucas Ursig from the A's. You can get Jimmy Garcia and Trevor Richards. The Nationals have Kyle Finnegan and Dylan Floro and Derek Law. If the Rangers move guys, which it's looking like a realistic possibility at this point, coming off a World Series win, it's Kirby Yates and Jose Leclerc. Like, there are options there bullpen wise, and I don't know, if you're the Mariners right now, is that really where you focus your attention? Maybe so.
Well, I don't know if it's focus your attention, but you got to have some. I mean, Jeff, we were just thinking about it last night. Santos can only go every other day, and unfortunately, Stanek's turned into a pumpkin and looks hurt, and both gave up games 2 in a row, and you're wearing out Trent Thornton. I mean, your Matt Brash isn't going to show up. I mean, like, at some point, yes, hitting is still by far their most important thing, but I don't know how they could make it, even with a better hitting roster, to September and into October without adding somebody in their bullpen.
Yeah, I guess so. That just feels more like depth to me than it does a frontline guy, because the offensive need is so acute. I think that.
Okay.
I mean, the offense guys, the only teams that have scored fewer runs than the Mariners are the White Sox and the Marlins. The White Sox might be the worst team ever. Like, I'm not just saying like worst team ever. Like, no, they might actually have the worst record in baseball history by the end of this season. And the Marlins stink and are tanking. Those are the only 2 offenses that are worse than the Seattle Mariners. That is just, it's so damning. It really is. And it feels like, I don't know, when we're talking about the bullpen, it just feels like it's such a secondary. We have myself and my ESPN colleagues, we have a spreadsheet in order to share information that we're hearing and keep track of, who's connected to whom. And we have a tab that has a list of needs, and we have 4 lists of needs. And right now, the Mariners, it says bat, bat, bat. There's not even a mention of relief pitching in there because the need for the bat is so patently, desperately obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, is there a team you can think of? I'm trying to think of my history, and you say remake your offense on the fly 2/3 of the way into the season. What team has ever done that? I mean, like, I'm trying to think of the most impactful baseball trade deadlines that have changed the way teams function. I mean, I guess I was there in 2004. The Red Sox subtracted Nomar, and that ended up sort of being part of the reason that they ended up going to a World Series and winning it. But and they remade some of the way they were built. Who has really remade the way they're built in the middle of a season?
He can't find that tab. He's looking.
I mean, does anyone come to mind? I can't think of anybody.
I'm trying to think through teams that have like fully overhauled and gone and won a championship, and
or even gone on to be good. You know what I mean? Like gone on to challenge significantly for a World Series. I just can't come up. It just doesn't happen very often. It's rare that anybody even would try to thread that needle. And to be fair, it's rare that there's a team that is as good on one side of the ball as the Mariners are, and as bad on the other.
That's exactly, that's exactly where I was going to go with it. I think there might be an example that I can't think of, but I think the reason we don't have examples is because the two sides are so rarely this extremely polar opposites of effectiveness. Like you don't see in the playoff hunt typically teams like the Mariners that have offenses as bad as they do, because so infrequently do you see pitching that's as good as the Mariners is without something to go and complement it. And it's, you look at what the Phillies are right now, and you think if some of the moves that they had made had worked out, that's what Seattle could be, which is a wild thing to think about, because the Phillies, to me, are the best team in baseball. And I think there's a decent-sized gap between them and anyone else right now, because they have the starting pitching that the Mariners do. They have, not quite a bunch of Andres Munozes, but with Jeff Hoffman and Orion Kerkering and Matt Strahm and Jose Alvarado and Gregory Soto and Sir Anthony Dominguez, they have a bunch of guys who have either closed or have closer type stuff. And they have an offense that has, when it's healthy, Bryce Harper, Alec Boehm, Trey Turner, JT Realmuto, Bryson Stott, Nick Castellanos, Kyle Schwarber. It's an extremely well-constructed baseball team. Really, really good.
Final minute here, Jeffrey. We're going to talk to you next Tuesday, the day before the trade deadline. Sprinkle some Passan pixie dust on this lineup. Best case scenario, we chat with you next Tuesday or Wednesday. How many new Mariners are there?
At least two. I talked about Isaac Paredes last week, and I think he's a very good fit. And look, they have to be talking about Luis Robert now. Back when things were great a month ago, guys, I was like, well, he's a center fielder, and you already got a set. No, you need a bat. You need a bat who can impact the lineup, and I understand getting Paredes and Robert would cost a ton of prospect capital, and I don't foresee that happening, but I feel like you need at least one bat that you're going to add to the lineup where the answer is going to be Julio Rodriguez, Cal Raleigh, and you can fill in the blank. And if you can do that and get a Brett Rooker maybe, I'm not saying that the Mariners have necessarily warranted the way they've been playing going out and spending as much prospect capital as they may have to get guys like that, but all of them are under multiple years of control. And that, to me, is the key at this point, because, honestly, I don't want to spend a whole lot on this team in terms of rentals right now. They haven't earned it. But for multi-year guys who are going to be part of this core and foundation, it's time.
Jeffrey, thank you. Appreciate it, as always. We will do it again on Tuesday, right before the trade deadline, and we'll look forward to talking to you then. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Keep your heads up, boys.
Okay, we'll do our best. That is Jeff Passan, who joins us, of course, every Tuesday. It's funny what he said there, Brock. I don't know if you can read what I wrote on my piece of paper here. No rentals. When I asked Jeff, hey, how has anything changed with the way you would approach the deadline? That's the one thing that has changed.
Amen.
No rentals.
Amen.
This is not a team right now, the way they've played, that deserves a rental player.
Haven't earned it.
Guys that are going to be here a year and a half and could be part of another run at, yes. Rentals? Absolutely not. And I will maintain it once again. Any of the 5 pitchers currently starting on this team should be off limits. I'm not interested in trading any of them for almost anybody. Emerson Hancock, guys in the minors, great conversations. Really anybody on the offensive side other than Julio and Cal, sure. But I'm not looking for rentals, not the way they've played here over the course of the last 6 weeks. We are on to the number 14 most intriguing Seahawk, Brock, and I think he's a linchpin for how this team can act this year. It's next on Brock and Salk.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
Gino, he's a guy that I think is probably the biggest question mark on this team for a lot of people nationally.
You know, this guy's been through it, man. What a weird career Gino has had. You start off as a starter, and then all of a sudden you're in a backup situation. I think he was just kind of accepting his situation. Now you see how he is. He's very assertive, and like he wants to be somebody, and he's probably at that point, I'm just going to go out there and let it rip. I'm not playing with something to lose. I'm playing with something to gain.
Streaming on your smart speaker.
Summer's here and it's time for you to put yourself in the game. But you don't have to do it alone. Come visit the incredible showroom and the all-star team at Toyota of Kirkland. With a large selection of over 70 brand new Tundras and Tacomas on the lot, you'll be able to test drive one and take it home the same day. And don't forget about that lifetime powertrain warranty. Now that's how you become the MVP. Come in today or visit online at toyotaofkirkland.com. toyotaofkirkland.com.
Hey everyone, Tom Nelson for Cressy Door. Since 1952, we've been installing garage doors for your home, building, or dealership. If you need Cressy Door service or a whole new set of doors, visit our friends at Cressy Door. Make your next garage door a Cressy Door.
Hey everyone, Jaden Schwartz for Techline Roofing. If your summer list includes 18 holes and a new roof, give Techline a call and we'll come out for a free inspection. Trust Techline. They shoot from the tips.
If your home has air conditioning, congratulations, because it looks like this summer is going to be a scorcher.
But to CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue, stop wasting time with local banks and credit unions and their endless guidelines. We're the experts for common sense residential construction loans. We lend our own money, we make our own decisions. And if your deal makes sense, we'll get it done fast with flexible terms. For homeowners, we advise you every step of the way with things like budget and timeline, ensuring the completion of your dream home. For builders, Legacy is not only your lender, we'll source your next deal, provide permitting services, and if you're short on equity, we'll invest alongside of you. Legacy Group Capital has lent more than $1 billion, helping over 130 local builders and hundreds of homeowners. We can help you.
Construction loans don't have to be hard. Borrow smart with a common sense construction loan from Legacy Group Capital. Visit LegacyG.com. LegacyG.com.
Scotland comes to the Pacific Northwest during the weekend of July 27th and 28th with the 77th Annual Pacific Northwest Scottish Highland Games and Clan Gathering at the Expo Center in Enumclaw. Competitive, colorful pipe bands and drummers from Washington, Oregon, and British Columbia will be featured alongside field events, some to include the popular caber toss and hammer throw. Traditional Scottish foods and gathering tents are also part of this festive weekend. For more information, go to www.sshga.org.
High five! Up top! Heck yeah! Dave's company just got the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah, 5 years!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
High five for gig speed.
5 years of advanced security.
Security win.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Our rate ain't changing.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
There it is.
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Woohoo!
Now he's got savings.
I'm so excited.
Yep, Dave's feeling it. But it's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Switch today and ask how to get the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Powering 5 years of savings. Powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping. Woo!
Ends 8/21/24. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Motorcycle riders, Bob Stelton here. I love this time of year. The weather's nice. I'm out on the bike as often as possible. And knock on wood, I've never been in an accident. But maybe you have. And if you have, you need to call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. First of all, your case evaluation is completely free. They don't get paid until you get paid. And they should be the first call you make after a motorcycle accident. And I'll tell you why. Because they fight for you, the motorcycle rider, and your family to get you the compensation you deserve. With over 20 years of experience, they're going to handle your case with the respect and dignity you deserve. The insurance company wants to get away with paying out the lowest settlement they can as quickly as they can. With the Law Tigers, you don't have to handle your motorcycle case alone. So why should you hire Law Tigers after an accident? They can help you get your motorcycle and gear repaired or replaced. Law Tigers knows how important your motorcycle is to you, so after you've been in an accident, give them a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. They will get you the help that you need. Again, that's 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or lawtigers.com. The Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers, Mateer Law Firm, LLC.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
Styled by Simply Seattle.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Eward and Mike Salk.
All right, final hour of our morning here on Brock and Salk. I just saw Bump and Stacy, and they're gearing up to take over at 10 o'clock. So look forward to their take on what we saw last night and the start of training camp with everybody and the veterans reporting today and practices starting tomorrow. That means, Brock, that we are on today to our number 14 most intriguing Seahawk. That's right. We are counting down the top 25, all leading up to the first preseason game of the season, and today that is
number 14.
Oluwatimi, center, second year out of Michigan. And Brock, I said it before, I'll say it again. To me, a linchpin for what this team could do this year. I know that everyone nationally has been focused on the passing game and specifically on this trio of wide receivers and the weaponry they have at running back and what does Geno do as the trigger man for all of that. And it's fair. I understand it. That's sexy. That's what a national audience probably thinks about these Seahawks because those are the names they know. But none of it matters if this offensive line can't get it done. Charles Cross, I feel good about. Left guard, no idea. Don't even, as you said, might be a camp casualty. Who knows? Right guard? It could be any number of guys. Certainly nothing set in stone. Right tackle? Well, right now it's looking like Fant because Abe Lucas is yet to be out there to practice. Center's supposed to be in charge of all of this and all of the communication, and it's been a position of constant turnover for the Seahawks over the course of most of the last decade since Max Unger said goodbye. I don't know that anybody has started more than 1 or 2 years in a row at center for the Seahawks. So what are they going to do? Posick and Britt, and I mean, it's like an endless turnstile of guys who, quite frankly, acted too much like a turnstile at times, which is why they weren't back for another season at center. Olu played well in his one game that he started last year, and when he came in off the bench, he looked okay. Can he turn that into being a starting center in his second year in the league? If he can, I will feel a lot better about this offensive line, about this offense, about this team in general. And if not, they don't really have a lot of backup there.
Was Big Ray on for a Blue 88 or with Bump and Stacy for an extended period of time? Maybe even after. I mean, Big Ray's with everybody. Kind of bragging about Olu. I think he's an Olu guy.
He is an Olu guy. Mm-hmm.
He's an Olu guy. And cerebral guy, right? I mean, played in an NFL system, played in Michigan and in a system with checks and played as a professional his final year there. Now, he was
Brock just got married.
I
mean, he just got married.
It did just get married.
I know how you feel about that.
Looked like a glamour shot.
He and his wife just looked amazing out there.
Sure did. But he's a late round pick for a reason, and the reason is because athletically, he's not the most gifted guy. right? You look at centers that go in the first 2 or 3 rounds, Salk, they're usually guys that have some pretty unique traits. And physically, there's not a lot of them there for Olu. 6'2", 309, 32 3/4-inch arms, so kind of shorter arms. Ran a 5.38 with a 1.8610. Like, that's one of the slower times you're going to find. So the movement skills aren't the best. Now, 29 reps at 225, powerful dude. Great punch, strong dude. Hopefully should be able to anchor. This is just about, to me, a little more than anything. Only thing is athleticism. And, you know, until we see the full scope of what they want to do, Salk, in the run game, Grubb and Huff had a really undersized guy, Parker Brailsford, now at Alabama, like 275 pounds. 275 started and went 14-1, like played great there. And he could really move, man. And they got him out front, and, you know, they pulled him a bunch, and they could do a lot of things with him. So I don't know exactly how all this is going to look. We also know that they signed a former Husky on a 1-year deal. Yeah, and Nick's a good athlete, right? Nick can move a little bit. Nick is a little bit undersized, so they're kind of different guys. So this is intriguing for all of those reasons you mentioned, and also intriguing because how does the scheme kind of fit around these guys? Lakin is not a great mover either at left guard. Bradford is certainly not a great mover at right guard. Christian Haynes is. I mean, he can move a little bit. So how all this takes shape, McClendon Curtis is. He moves pretty good. So how all of that takes shape in the interior, Salk, with amongst 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys is certainly one of the most intriguing overall storylines and individually for Olu, because to your point, you'd love for him to take over. I'm in charge. Put the C on me eventually. I'm in charge. I'm a 5th-round pick, and I'm going to be here.
I'm rooting for him. He's a player I'm rooting for. I enjoyed watching him like I'm focused every moment on the center. That's a ridiculous thing to say. But
no, but he was not overwhelmed.
When he played, was it the Detroit game that he had to play most of the whole game? I think it was. And he played really well.
Yeah.
He was not the problem, that's for sure. And you're right, did not seem overwhelmed. So he's a guy I've got some level of...
Little Joey Hunt still on the roster or now?
I think they finally moved on from poor little Joey
Hunt.
Yeah, he almost made Joe's ranked yesterday, I think.
He's a scrappy little sucker.
Almost made it. Olu with Timmy, number 14 on your most intriguing Seahawks list. We'll get to number 13 tomorrow at 9 a.m.
More turnover. Mariners left fielders, Seahawks centers.
Yes. I guess is the answer to that would be yes. Both turnover almost every year.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the answer
and a
is
bummer
yes.
too, because Tobeck was so good for so many years, and you mentioned Max Unger really grew into that role for so many years. He kind of had that thing anchored, and that anchor's been afloat for a number of years now.
Hey, so I walked around Green Lake with my wife yesterday and my dog, which was fun. Had a great time. And as we were getting ready to go on the walk, Heather says, "Oh, hold on one second. I just want to go upstairs and get my weighted vest." So Heather puts on a 20-pound weighted vest to walk around Green Lake with me and the dog yesterday.
Kevlar?
It kind of looks like it. I mean, it looks like she's expecting to, like, go on a house raid or something, like she's on a SWAT team. And so, I'm like, well, like, I've agreed to go with you, but now I don't know.
You know what is truly remarkable about that?
What?
I looked at my weighted vest in our gym yesterday, and I'm like, should I take this to go walk the stairs?
No.
And I'm like, are you out of your mind?
Right, you can't wear that. Of course not.
Of course not.
I know, but she put it on. We walked around the lake, and, Gertie did great, et cetera. It's like,
I mean, what's next, Heather? Ankle and wrist weights?
Everybody who walked by, I had to avert my eyes because I was so embarrassed. Now she put on a black shirt under it, so it kind of you couldn't see it. But remember when Todd Herman used to walk into our building every day wearing his bulletproof vest?
Yes.
That's kind of what it looked like.
Did you
I'm
feel
waiting
the
for
need
her
to
to start
explain?
building a bunker.
Did you feel the need to explain to everybody saw, like, it's a weighted vest. It's a weighted vest.
Kind of. Yeah, no, we're not preppers. It's a weighted vest. We're not that nervous that there's going to be a problem here.
How do you think she feels when you take your shirt off at the beach?
Oh, well, I'm glad, Maura, I'm glad you brought that up because I've decided to do something new this year. Going to Vegas next Thursday, and for the first time, you know what I got?
Tank top.
A swim shirt. An SPF 50 long sleeve shirt. I think it's time. I think it's for the best for everybody.
Like a 7-year-old.
It's time. It's just time.
Did you get goggles?
No goggles. I'm going to wear floaties, though. I think I'll wear the floaties on my arms.
I thought you were going to say a wax.
No, I've done that. That hurts too much. No, just a swim shirt. I'll take pictures if you guys want to see it.
Please.
I think it's time. I think it's that time. We'll come back with everything you need to know that has nothing to do with the shirts and vests that my wife and I are wearing. It's next on Brock and Salk.
The Dugout. Go in depth with the Mariners.
Leaps up and he makes the catch.
With voices like Ryan Roland Smith, Gary Hill, and Mike Blowers.
Long-term pitching, if you have that foundation, good things are going to happen.
It makes him so valuable when he's hitting.
This team is a team that's going to have to bunch hits together, put pressure on the defense.
Hear from the players and coaches, and go behind the scenes with insider Shannon Dreyer.
They find a way to grind it out, stay in the game. I thought it was a really good win for them.
The Dugout, Tuesdays at 1 p.m. on Seattle Sports.
Hey, this morning, are you searching for a local, trustworthy group of professionals to assist you with all of your mortgage needs? Hey, Brock Hewitt here, and you can count on my friends at Tila Mortgage. They have been the go-to mortgage experts in Washington State for over 25 years. That means, well, if you're 62 or older and you've heard about these reverse mortgages, Tila can help you decide if it's the right choice for you and your family. If monthly payments are impacting your credit score and just killing your month-to-month cash flow, Tila can assist you in consolidating your debts with proven programs like a refinance loan or home equity line of credit, that HELOC, enabling you to maintain your low fixed-rate first mortgage. Additionally, if you're purchasing a new home, well, Tila can guide you through the ins and outs of a new home loan as well, with hundreds of five-star reviews. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a trusted source for honest and ethical mortgage advice. Give them a call this morning. They're waiting for you. 206-766-8888, 206-766-8888, or TilaMortgage.com. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker, MLS 247-2046.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
As a roofer, I don't have time to fail. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. And with the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. Now through September 15th, purchase high-quality GAF with Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon. Always building.
Tingling and numbness or burning pain in the feet or hands are warning signs of peripheral neuropathy. For years, Sound Pain Solutions has helped thousands using our innovative narcotic-free approach. Now we're excited to introduce our most powerful treatment yet. I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. We've discovered a new bioelectrical treatment that produces remarkable results. Studies show 85% of neuropathy sufferers report a 50% reduction in pain. Our new therapy can reduce pain and regenerate damaged nerves. It's performed by medical providers and naturopathic physicians. It's a breakthrough treatment that has changed the lives of thousands who suffer from nerve pain. At Sound Pain Solutions, all our therapies are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, and narcotic-free. Learn if you qualify for our new neuropathy treatment. Schedule a free consultation by visiting soundpainsolutions.com. soundpainsolutions.com.
Each week, at least one child dies from heat stroke after being left alone in a car. Often, these incidents are not a matter of neglect, but even the most responsible, loving parents are liable to forget a child in the car due to sleep deprivation, stress, or a change in routine, which can lead to fatal results. As temperatures continue to soar, take steps to ensure a child is never forgotten in a hot car. Download the Cars for Kids Safety app today at carsforkids.org/safety app. Remember, that's cars with a K.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
There's an old saying that a house is not a home, but the Mariners house, T-Mobile Park, is home to an awful lot. Home to plays you can't believe.
Right shot, diving catch. Holy smokes, what a play by Crawford.
Home to 6-foot salmon that don't swim, they sprint. and even home to hot dogs that fall from heaven. Hallelujah.
Everybody likes free food just falling from the sky.
Oh, yeah. And it's also home to 47,000 screaming faithful.
We have a sellout crowd. I mean, the folks are up there in the rafters.
T-Mobile Park is our house. Mariners fans make it our home. Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
Don't miss this week's AOS showdown against the Angels at T-Mobile Park. The series continues tonight at 6:40 and tomorrow afternoon at 12:40. Plus, check out all the other great matchups and events on deck for this summer, like the Mariners Drone Show on August 2nd against the Phillies, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Get your tickets today at mariners.com.
I'm here with my friend Mark Clymer from Wayscar Ford, Isuzu in Auburn. Mark, is now the best time to buy a new car?
Well, it absolutely is right now because we have our factory invoice sale going on right now, which means you're going to pay what we pay. And this is on all our 24 model vehicles, basically, everything except for Raptors. So we're talking F-150s, Rangers, Mavericks, F-250s, Explorers, Escapes, Expeditions. You name it, these are brand new 2024 models. They also come with our lifetime powertrain coverage and 5 days or 500-mile, 100% money-back guarantee, so you can shop with total confidence. There's no negotiating, nothing. You pay, but we pay. We're overstocked right now, and we need to make room. We have a lot more vehicles coming in. So, yeah, you're right. If you've been putting it off and you're looking to get a new Ford, for a limited time, we're having our factory invoice sale. You pay, but we pay.
Take the hassle out of car shopping. You know you're getting a great deal at Wayscar Ford, Isuzu in Auburn. WayscarFord.com.
Need to know. Brought to you by Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
It's been a morning of ranting and raving, and understandable considering the way the Mariners played yesterday and considering the way their skipper reacted afterwards. He was not pleased at all with the way the team played. He let them know about it.
Yeah, I said it the other day. Adversity hits at different times, and we're looking at it right now. We'll find out a lot about our club, and you need guys to step up. JP was out earlier in the season for a while. We had guys step up, and that's what we're going to have to need guys to do right now. So just got to be more consistent and do your job. You come to work every day, have a job to do, and go out and compete. You're not going to get the results every night you're looking for, but the competitiveness has got to be there. Everybody, top to bottom, that's what's going to take to overcome some adversity. We got a little adversity right now with a couple guys banged up.
I really hear that and wonder if there were some guys last night that just weren't in the right mental state to play, that weren't focused the way he wanted them to be, and it led to, another anemic night offensively, but also the walks and some defensive lapses near the end of the game that cost him a win.
Yeah, you played one of his cuts earlier where he talked about just that aggressive mindset and playing not to lose. You play not to lose, guess what? You're going to lose. You're going to lose. And then, in baseball, when you walk guys in the late innings, they come back to bite you. They always do. And that's a bad, obviously there's some history there with the Angels, with folks there and the organization. I don't think they particularly like them very much.
No.
I think they're a terrible team. I think they're a dumpster fire of a roster. I think it's a bunch of misfits in a 4A team. And they've now beaten you 4 out of 5 games while your pitchers and your starters have dealt against them.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't like, Luis just didn't have it. Oh, you know what, Logan did. No, quality start. A sub 3 ERA over the last 6 games, and they're 1-5.
That's really remarkable to even think about. I don't know how that's possible, but somehow they have found a way.
Here's the second thing you need
and
to
I do
know.
think this team will look markedly different in another 8 or 9 days, and I don't think it's just on the trade market. I think that there will be internal changes as well, with some guys called up, sent down, moved around, etc. Maybe we'll see some IL stints. Certainly J.P. Crawford is going there with a hairline fracture on his finger. Maybe he won't be the only one. We'll find out maybe later today and over the next few. Julio, the MRI, still kind of going to hear results today, but it doesn't sound too bad, which is good news. The Mariners did call up infielder Jason Vossler, and then they sent down Ryan Bliss. We may see Bliss or perhaps someone like Leo Rivas back later today to take the spot of J.P. Crawford.
Samad Taylor, Cade Marlowe. I mean, you start getting to the point, in this point of the journey, and as Scott said, it's no longer a marathon, it's a sprint to the finish. And when you've been given hundreds and hundreds of at-bats over 100+ games, and you just are not getting it done, and you're, as Jeff Passan said, the worst offense in baseball, save for the Marlins and White Sox that largely are not trying, something's got to give. Something's got to give from a personnel standpoint because you just can't keep running the same thing out.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
I think some happy news. Seahawks will start training camp with everybody reporting today. The veterans are the last ones in, and then tomorrow they will all practice. We'll be out there to watch and report and tell you guys what we're seeing. No holdouts, no drama expected, no new significant injuries, but yeah, still some concern both at linebacker and at right tackle as those guys are not going to practice tomorrow.
And what did the NFL Network, where did we come in at with DK and Reek
DK
Woolen?
84,
84.
Reek in 91, and Julian Love 95.
First time Julian's made that top 100 list. Pro Bowler, was one of our intriguing players that we talked about yesterday. And old Reek Woolen had a little something to say on the old Ram, huh?
Yeah, I don't know whether I would go in the direction he did, taking a shot at fans. Again, far be it from me to tell you not to take a shot at fans. I take a shot at our listeners all the time. So,
Sure,
Reek, if you want to go down the same road as me, I don't recommend it, but especially when you don't have to.
Right.
I don't know whether I would do that if I were him, but hey, that's whatever he needs to do to get himself motivated for the season. If he has a good year, none of it'll matter, right?
Yes, indeed.
That is everything you need to know. Quarter past every hour. I got a lot of texts.
Okay.
Yeah. Or you got questions about the shirt?
Well, I'm going to do a ranking here, and it's really paying off more earlier in the show. And I'm super uncomfortable doing it because I'm not really kind of into this thing, but I'm like, for the team, I'll do it. I'll do it. And since you're putting a shirt on, I'll probably rank the 5 greatest athletes in Seattle sports history with their shirt off.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds nice. I mean, Harris says,
that.
I thought Salk was born with a swim shirt, the fur. Wait, you didn't roast Salk enough for the swim shirt? Come on, man. That's embarrassing. You are in late middle age. I'm 46. Okay, fine. I'm telling you, yes, I'm middle aged. It's time. It's time to put on the swim shirt.
I think the only, can I be fair, like, and just like friend to friend here, just you and me talking, I think the only people at your age that I know that do that are those that have battled like skin cancer.
I got to tell you, man, when I was in Bend on the river a couple weeks ago over the 4th, I would say roughly 50% or more of the men were wearing swim shirts.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
I would say it was at around half. Maybe not more than half, but around half. I think it's just polite. I'm just trying to be nice to the other people around.
I get it for the sun for sure, because I get so zapped
Oh,
and so
for
burnt.
the sun
that
for
makes
sure.
total
Dude,
sense.
it's going to be 115 degrees in Vegas.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Right. So I think I'm going to try it. If it's not the right thing, you can always take it off.
Sure.
It's not like it's like plastered on and that's it. I'm going to try it. I have another problem that I was actually wondering if people would help me with. I could use a suggestion on this.
Oh, boy.
It's a dumb problem. Can I ask? Do you have a minute?
I can't wait.
Do you guys have a minute for something personal?
I have as many as you need.
Okay.
Sure thing.
So for the last 20 years, thank you, Charles. For the last 20 years, I've been using this $10 pillow that I bought at Bed Bath & Beyond or whatever it was back in the day, okay? I love it. Heather makes fun of me because she's got her fancy schmancy pillow and her silk pillowcase and this and that. I, as a typical man of the people, bought a very cheap pillow, and I love it. It's thin, really thin, like maybe an inch thick. And I love it. Hey, whatever. It's what I like.
Sure.
Pillows are personal, okay? It's a very thin pillow, but it has some oomph to it inside. Does that make sense? It's not gummy. It doesn't. I don't like it to.
It's not foamy or feathery. It's got some substance.
I don't like foam, or I don't like feathers poofing up around my face. I'm a side sleeper, so I've gone looking for pillows here over the course because mine is truly. When I say it's disintegrating, that's like a nice word. And Heather finally said, "I can't look at this anymore. Even under the pillowcase, it's disgusting." So, all right, fine. I get it. So I've been looking for a new pillow. I went to Target, and I'm trying like a Tempur-Pedic pillow, and it's too thick. And then I bought their like $3 pillow, but it's too like gummy, and it doesn't feel good. Where do you get a thin pillow?
That's a great question.
You really seem like a My Pillow guy.
No.
Like you and him?
I'm going to tell you straight up, it won't be that.
I'm the exact same way as you, Salk. I like a thin pillow, sleep on my side. I can't find one for the life of me.
So you've been looking, and there's nothing?
I cannot figure it out.
Screwed.
I'm just uncomfortable.
It's awful. I'm going to keep you. I might have to bring my disgusting old pillow to like some sort of a seamstress to sew up all of the problems.
You're like Linus. You drag it in dirty with your swim shirt. Will you help me?
I'm going to be like Linus carrying my pillow behind me like a blankie. If anybody has a suggestion on where to get a thin pillow that still has substance, please let me know, because I'm dying here. I am dying on. People say Costco. All right, I'll take a look.
Everyone is saying Costco.
I will go. I will do anything to solve this pillow problem because it is a mess in my house right now.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Ty France will be placed on outright waivers, which will likely end his time with the Mariners. What's the real headline?
Au revoir, Ty. Did I say that right?
You're the one who took French class.
Well, I failed French class. To be fair, a lot of people failed. Maybe it was a teaching issue. I don't know.
Man, Ty France, something needed to be done, right? I hope this is the first move that is foreshadowing a bigger one. You have to do something with guys in your organization right now. So what is next is my question.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here. Yes, I'm having some fun at my own expense. But when you're looking for something fun to do, how about Snoqualmie Casino? Only 30 minutes from downtown. It's your spot, right? It's certainly mine. And I get some concerts coming up if you're a country music fan. Craig Morgan, August 22nd. Twitty and Lynn, September 26th. Then before the show, go to Falls Buffet. They are always serving your favorites like prime rib, the fresh pasta, the made-to-order stir-fry, noodles, pizza, salad bar, dessert bar, you know it. And then Vista with the amazing happy hour menus that start at 4 o'clock. They're all at Seattle's closest casino. It's only 30 minutes from downtown. Online at snocasino.com. It is Snoqualmie Casino.
Lexus is electrified, and the first ever RZ450E has the performance and range to get you where you need to go with the exclusive Lexus Direct 4 all-wheel drive technology. Lexus of Bellevue has over 50 RZs available for immediate delivery with electrifying savings. Up to $18,500 lease cash on every RZ450E. Visit LexusofBellevue.com.
On approval of credit through LFS, lease cash from Lexus available on select 2024 RZ styles. Must take delivery by July 31st, 2024. A documentary service fee up to $200 may be added to the purchase price or capitalized costs. See dealership for details.
Hey everyone, Jaden Schwartz for Techline Roofing. If your summer list includes 18 holes and a new roof, give Techline a call and we'll come out for a free inspection. Trust Techline. They shoot from the tips.
Hey everyone, Tom Nelson for Cressy Door. Since 1952, we've been installing garage doors for your home, building, or dealership. If you need Cressy Door service or a whole new set of doors, visit our friends at Cressy Door. Make your next garage door a Cressy Door.
Paid for by government. Did you hear? A secret hoard of 1904 $20 Gold Liberty coins have been found. These gorgeous 1904p gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck, and less than 500 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this secret U.S. gold coin discovery a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you can own a piece of the hoard. When you call, you are guaranteed a 1904 Gold Liberty struck at the iconic Philadelphia Mint. With limited availability, you must call now. These 1904 dated gold coins are still in uncirculated condition with brilliant luster. That is 120 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-895-7664. Call now and you'll receive a free bonus, a $75 value free with every order. Call 1-800-895-7664 now to secure your 1904p $20 Gold Liberty coins before they sell out. That's 1-800-895-7664. Did you know there's a revolutionary pediatric cancer treatment called immunotherapy going on at Seattle Children's Hospital? Kids with cancer know that true strength comes from within. And with immunotherapy, they can fight cancer from the inside out with their own superpower, their immune systems. However, pediatric cancer research and trials are severely underfunded. G. Scott here asking you to join the fight for all kidkind. Next time you're at Safeway checkout, please choose to make a donation. Thank you for becoming an immuno hero.
Tired of spending endless hours on lawn care? Switch to Synthetic Turf Northwest, the Northwest's leader in quality synthetic turf products and professional installation. With 28 years of experience, we're your trusted source in Seattle, Tacoma, and Bellevue. Ask about our 18-month no-interest financing and how you can beat the heat and save up to $1,000 off your project now through July 31st. Start enjoying a beautiful, low-maintenance lawn today. SyntheticTurfNorthwest.com. 425-788-0718. Stop stressing about your lawn and start enjoying it.
Listen throughout the week to the Mariners Player Spotlight.
Ever since I got here, I want to win a World Series in Seattle, and this city's starving for another winning team.
Presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Brick Riz here, and it's the final month to submit your nomination for Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington's Improve Your Play program. Pella's owners are donating $5,000 to 2 local youth sports organizations. Many local teams are in need of new equipment, field improvements, or uniforms. If you know a team who could use funding, nominate them at seattlesports.com/play. Join Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington and help our local youth thrive. Go to seattlesports.com/play to nominate a team in need right now.
At Buc-ee's, we'll keep you ready for summertime. For over 50 years, Buc-ee's Complete Auto has been servicing and repairing cars and trucks with modern-day technology and good old-fashioned customer service. Buc-ee's is the largest independent family-owned chain in the Northwest. There's a Buc-ee's just about everywhere for factory maintenance, oil changes, wiper blades, air conditioning, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, everything you need to get you running smoothly this summer. No appointment necessary, and financing's available too. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
High five! Up top. Heck yeah!
Dave's company just got the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah, 5 years!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
High five for gig speed.
5 years of advanced security.
Security win.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Our rate ain't changing.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
There it is.
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Woohoo!
Now he's got savings.
I'm so excited.
Yep, Dave's feeling it. But it's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Switch today and ask how to get the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Powering 5 years of savings. Powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Woo! Ends 8/21/24. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
I'm sorry, this text got me, Brock. Got a lot of responses on the pillow thing, and I appreciate all of that. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, I'll look through some of the Amazon thin pillow stuff because the problem there is I got to buy them all. They got to ship them. Then I got to return them when they don't work. But anyway, 253 says, I had a pillow so long, my wife burned it because I wouldn't give it up. I love a thin pillow, and I finally found one that I loved at a podunk hotel, and I asked to buy it. This is something I would do. This is straight out of my life. They gave it to me. I took it home and washed it, and it's been great for years. I've bought and returned probably 25 pillows after she burned mine. Wow. Unfortunately, you do have to break in a pillow to get it to how we like it. I don't think a new pillow will ever be right for us.
I just think of the meme with the guy at the sand going through his hand. Never find the right pillow for you.
Thank you, 253. We are soulmates, obviously, in some way, and I appreciate that. Wow, that's a sad look at the future. Not as sad as poor Scott last night. He was an unhappy camper, and it sort of started before the game. I was over there early, and it was the goodbye for Ty France. He was meeting with the media. Reminded me very much of the Paul Sewald scene just under a year ago when he was saying goodbye. You know, where he had been dealt in that case, and everyone knew that it had happened because the team had underperformed, and everyone liked, Paul, much like everybody likes Ty, both incredibly popular players, especially inside that clubhouse. I think there was a sense at the time, because Paul was playing well, correct, that, hey, you're dealing this guy because we haven't performed, but you're not making it any easier on us. This is different. This is a guy that is underperformed in addition to everybody else. I mean, as we've said a few times, you could probably come up with 5 or 6 names on this team that have underperformed worse than Ty France.
And especially for the investment.
That's right.
Like the return on investment.
It's terrible.
$16 million that Haniger's making, the $12 million that Garver's making, the $4 million that Urias is making. I mean, the return on the investment dollars, whereas, Ty's making, $8-9 million bucks, and yeah, not been great either. But sheesh, there's a lot of guys, unfortunately, that are a shell of what they've been in the past.
But Ty was one of them. And certainly nobody would look at his numbers and say that's a guy who deserves endless number of chances to just keep playing first base. So, he's out. And they did it in a way that was non-traditional, or was it? That's what makes this kind of interesting. So yesterday we were sort of trying to figure out why they did this irrevocable waivers thing versus just DFAing him and moving on. And I truly didn't fully understand it yesterday. I was trying to read through it. I didn't fully get it. Thank you to Adam Jude and a few others over at the ballpark yesterday who explained it to me. Divish, by the way, very jealous at all of the kind words that I've heaped on Adam Jude recently.
Yeah,
I thought Adam did a great job at the All-Star game, wrote some great stories. He's done a good job all year working with Divish on the beat. And Ryan, very Adam Jude, Sulky's new favorite, his new crush. Like, dude, tone it down.
Yeah.
I mean, I still love you, Ryan. You're still great, grumpy though you may be. Adam's just a fresh face. Sometimes I need a little optimism in my life and not nonstop grumpiness and talk about how you hate everybody and this and that.
Pillow.
You should bring Adam in to rank the top 5 things he loves.
As long as I'm one of them, that'll be great. Anyway, thank you to Adam. Seriously, jokes aside, and Ryan and everybody else down there for kind of helping me understand exactly what was going on. Basically, if he does get claimed, you don't have to eat the money. That's the extent of it. The second part of it is this is normal for teams to do. Most teams do this. It's a procedural move. Here's Divish yesterday explaining it.
This is kind of a procedural move that teams do with veteran players that maybe they aren't working or they don't necessarily want to carry on the roster any longer, but they're not just going to designate them for assignment right away. So what they do is they put them on irrevocable release waivers, and that means that all 30 teams or all 29 other teams have a chance to claim the player off of waivers and have to pay the remaining salary. In the past, they had what was called revocable waivers. You could put a player on waivers, see if he got claimed, then you could pull him back. But this is irrevocable or irrevocable, where like if somebody claims them, then Todd becomes their property. But like they don't just want to designate him for assignment. They could still do that in the days ahead, but this is just a procedural thing, and it's not usually made to the public or to the media. You know, you get a tip and you get a source tells you that. Usually it's from another front office because they get the email or the memo from the league saying that, and then you go from there.
But usually this stuff doesn't leak, right? Usually you just sort of go through it. I can think of a few examples when it has. Obviously, Kevin Kiermaier earlier this year got out in Toronto. Years ago, before the Red Sox finally cut ties with Manny Ramirez, he publicly went on irrevocable waivers and wasn't claimed, and that was kind of a big deal. I think that was after a lot of his kind of antics had gotten out of control. But when this did get out, it made for an awkward situation yesterday, right? As Ty was there, he was still on the team. He was still getting dressed to play a game yesterday, although obviously he wasn't in the lineup, even though they were facing a lefty, and then didn't come in even when their first baseman had to move to short, and they needed another first baseman. So clearly they weren't going to play him. Clearly that ship has sailed. But they're hoping that somebody else will take the $2 million off their hands in addition to taking Ty France. Can I blame them? No. Like, that's what a team should do. If you have a chance to save $2 million, you should. Regardless of what we think the budget should be, there is a budget. And if you can save $2 million, maybe that'll help you at the trade deadline. But was that worth this getting out and everybody finding out about it and creating more bad blood potentially in that clubhouse? Now, I think the bad blood is ridiculous, but that doesn't mean it's not there. Here's my new crush, Adam Jude, explaining how people felt in the clubhouse yesterday.
JP Crawford talked briefly here. JP and Ty France again are really close friends. JP Crawford is probably maybe the most miserable person in the ballpark right now because he did not want this to happen, did not see this.
More miserable than Divish?
But again, these guys are professionals. This is a game, it's pro baseball. You got to win at the end of the day. And with where this team is at, they're still in the tie for first place. This guy has fallen in, and there are a lot of serious issues and serious questions about where this offense is, and rightfully so. But you've got to win at the end of the day. And this is going to be an eventful week. This day might still be an eventful day as well.
So what do you think there? Well, I mean, now that you understand sort of the irrevocable waivers, why they did it instead of a DFA, how it all played out, who might be upset, what do you make of it?
Ty France is a zero WAR player. I mean, you just and you've developed him and done all you can, and you just see, like with your asset, you're just not good enough. When I had to walk in, Salk, to Mike Holmgren's office after a year being on IR, and I had to hear from him very clearly, we're just done. we've taken this as far as we can go. There's nothing you're going to do for us here. We're going to terminate your contract, and that's the way we're going. Like, that's the harsh reality of a brutal business where you've got to produce.
That must have been an awful day.
If we were 25th in rating, Salk, for a year, we would have new contracts, new job. Like, it just wouldn't, like, you can get time, right? You can, but there's a meritocracy to professional sports. There's meritocracy to sports radio. There's meritocracy to the sales folks upstairs. Like, you got to produce. You got to do your job. And when you've been given, in this case for Ty, I think an extraordinary amount of time, and you play a position where there's a supply chain. There's a supply chain in the trade market. There's just a supply chain below you with a Locklear that's hungry to get up there and have his opportunity to develop and show what he can do with a pretty powerful bat. So, yeah, I mean, it's a cold-blooded, cold-hearted nature of professional sports. I've tasted it. I felt it. It was not fun when the Colts did the same thing. Terminated my deal and final year of my deal, become a free agent. And, that's a hard pill, humble pill to swallow. But when you don't play you don't produce well, they're going to find the next asset to try to develop and bring along.
So does JP have a right to be upset?
He's a human. He's a friend. Is a friend. Absolutely. He's a professional athlete. You can't be getting on base 299, JP. Like, part of the reason for this offensive struggle is a collective group, or the majority of the individuals that you said to Passan that are below average. In any metric you want to look at, you want to look at WAR, you want to look at OPS plus, you want to look at RC plus, whatever metrics you want to look at. The majority, 7 of the 9 guys are, 6 of the 9, whatever, are below average, underperforming. And it's highlighted, and I thought Passan's point was a good one. It's highlighted because your pitching is so unbelievably good that if you were just league average, you'd be 7-8 games up in this division. This division has given you every opportunity. Divish, respond?
Yeah.
What are you smiling at?
Divish says I'm a thin pillow person. I have 2 that I've had for 10 years each, and I'm not telling you where to get them. That's pretty good revenge.
God, I got him.
Ryan, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, I
that's
deserve
gonna
that
literally
one.
haunt you.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll see what Adam's
You know what
got
he's
going on.
not, though?
Yeah.
You know what a guy from Haver is not?
What?
Swim shirt guy.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, but he works out all the
He's
time.
got a pec deck, man. He ain't doing that.
He's working
got
out.
shoulders. He
Yeah,
got pecs.
Divish looks good. He doesn't need to do that.
I mean, he doesn't look like K9. Let's be very clear.
Few do.
No,
Very few do.
Not many do.
Anyway, I do think that this is going to be a busy week or so for the Mariners. I don't think this was like the lone move. And if I were on that team, I'd be looking around saying, I don't know how many of these guys are going to be here. There may be trades, and we've talked about a lot of those names. Maybe at some point, Tampa decides they're ready to deal, and you're able to bring in an Isak Paredes. Maybe you can get a Brent Rooker. Maybe you can buy-sell with San Francisco and find a way to bring back a Lamont Wade. Maybe it's one of the other names. I know Jesse Rogers had some names yesterday on the station. There are guys that are going to be out there and who could move. Maybe you are going to bring some in. Maybe there'll be some other changes. Maybe we'll see Ty Locklear and Cade Marlowe and Samad Taylor and some of the other folks who have been at AAA, and it's hard to imagine they could do worse than some of the guys who are currently stinking up the joint in the pros. I mean, like, there's a lot of ways this could go. Ty was, I think, the first of those dominoes, but watching the 2 Mitches, watching JP, who's now hurt, watching Polanco, who at least has been somewhat better here in the last few weeks, and we'll see if that's fool's gold. There's going to have to be some level of change because you can't just keep doing the status quo and hoping for it to get better.
Yep, and kudos to this pitching staff, man. And I honestly, I said this last hour, I think part of Scott's reaction is that is the 2 decades old catcher in him that's coming out and roaring for his guys. That's Cal Raleigh before the season began, sitting down with us, Salk, with, I thought, one of the more important lines of saying we got to do our end, right? We don't want to just be a pitching known developmental team. We don't want to just be a one-dimensional team. We want to be a team that plays complementary ball, and we got to hold up our end of the bargain, and they're not. Last year they were 11th in runs scored, 12th in runs scored. They're 28th right now. I mean, it's just it's we've ranted and raved enough, so hopefully they can find a way to turn it. Hopefully Scott's closed-door meeting, hopefully some of that emotion
They
helps.
might need Logan to throw a complete game shutout tonight if they want to win this one. Or maybe Julio will come back and everything will be right with the world. Who the heck knows? Let's rank.
Got a list? Time to put it in order.
Fred Dwumfor's house. Top five meals that I have ever had.
This is Ranked.
To be honest, that list was really biased.
Every morning at 9:45 on Brock and Salk.
Top 10 list. I'm not buying that.
Ranked.
Justin, you got to listen to Ranked yesterday as you were driving back. How was that?
It's a really kind of interesting experience. I was going through Spokane at the time, so shout out 700 ESPN over there. I was listening on the way through, and it's just like, oh, it's just my local show. This is fun, and I'm in a totally different environment for it. And I was like, all I want to do is text them things that should be in this list. So I understand now why the text message machine goes nuts during Ranked.
Did you get number one?
I was going to text you. Well, I wanted to say JoJo's. You missed JoJo's.
Like the Oreo-like things?
No, like the big potatoes.
The potatoes.
I've had JoJo's before. They're potatoes.
Potato wedges.
Potato wedges,
Big potato wedges. You dip in ranch. They're pretty good, JoJo's.
Salk is confused. Okay.
That's a Northwest thing I've never heard of, I guess.
And I was like, Joe Mama. And then you got it.
Number one. Joe Mama.
Oh, I was so excited to hear that.
Brock's reaction made it really great. Took him completely by surprise.
Today, though, Brock,
what do you got?
What are you two ranking today?
No, you're up.
Oh, I'm up
have you guys
today?
seen Ken Walker?
What'd you say?
Have you guys seen Ken Walker?
Earlier, we were discussing the guys
Best
who
shape
are
of their
going to
lives.
be in the best shape of their
Best shape of
lives.
their lives.
They're going to get the best shape of their life treatment this training camp. And we had a couple of names, and Maura was very offended that we left Mr. Ken Walker off that list.
Have you guys seen Ken Walker? Did you guys get the video I sent you?
Of Ken Walker?
I just think it was a bad list.
Is this a public
I sent
video?
you a video of Ken
Yeah?
Walker.
Oh,
Look at it.
hold on, I gotta watch
I just
this.
think it was a glaring omission.
Uh-huh.
You had that favorited, huh?
Yeah, and your tone was never, like, your tone, you're right, Mauro, your tone's so
this
different.
video, by the way, is from July 3rd. So
she's a muscle
had
ball.
Had it
These-
saved since July 3rd?
No, I looked it up.
You knew
because
right
you
where to
guys are
find
making
it.
so much fun of me.
Uh-huh. Just bookmark that somewhere.
Oh, okay. I thought
Do
he had pink
do
hair.
your list, Brock.
Mhm.
Have you guys seen Ken Walker?
It's the way the voice goes up, like Ron Burgundy. You know, like you could just, Some honorable mentions.
Looks
Go ahead
pretty
and.
good. I'm not gonna lie. More, I'm kind of with you. He looks pretty good.
Oh, he's unbelievable. Muscle
Yeah.
ball. He looks like Dilfer and Hasselback. Go ahead and Google. Use that Google machine and type in Hasselback Dilfer shirtless. Because it was really, it was a really cool
Not gonna do
preview
that.
for the Seattle Times.
No, because that's going to mess up my whole algorithm. Think about
Yeah.
all of the other things
Sure.
I'm going to get in my feed if I Google that.
I just did it.
Did Robbie Tobeck have that blown up like, I don't know, 25 foot by 10 foot and plastered in the locker room?
He did that on a
For
work
those
computer?
two fine fellows.
What an interesting.
Yeah.
All right, Brock, what are you ranking?
Yeah, that's honorable mention. I mean, Trent and Matt back in the day,
What are
willing
you
to take
even
their shirts
told
off.
people what you're ranking?
Oh, what am I ranking, Salk? I'm ranking the 5 greatest Maura Dooley shirt off Pacific Northwest athletes I've ever been around.
That sounds like Maura's taking her shirt off, and that's not what's happening here.
Maura's
That's not it.
favorites.
This immediately.
No,
Maura's
none of
favorites.
That. No,
My
no.
favorites.
Your favorite 5 guys who take their shirt off in Seattle sports.
Yeah, the 5 guys. Let's do it this way: the 5 guys that don't need Salk's swim shirt. How about that? The 5 that don't need Salk's swim shirt he's going to be wearing in Vegas. Honorable mention. Well, actually, Dilfer Hasselback really needed it back then. That's why he's in shadows in that picture. Honorable mention: Troy Fautanu. You know, he'd wear the belly shirt. Love it. Love big guys. Love big linemen that are willing to put themselves out there. But let's just get right to it. Number 5 on my list does not need Salk swim shirt. Ken Walker. K9, and I'm going to go slash here. Cam Chancellor. Cam in his prime.
Both guys are they're tied for number
They're tied
5.
for 5.
Wow.
Yeah, both start with a K. Both were just. You remember all those conversations we used to have? Like if you could swap bodies with somebody you go play a game, like, and Cam Chancellor was just absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, there's nobody
rocked up.
built like Cam. Just
No.
ridiculous.
Nope. No,
Well,
not a 200.
Hey, speaking of which, did I tell you I got official numbers on Gregory Santos?
No.
6'4", 230 to 240.
Okay. Then what are we doing at 6'3", 195?
Yeah, that's Joe.
What are we doing?
6'4",
Yes.
230 to 240.
Okay, can we get that changed?
No, it's better than he surprised people.
Oh, that's what they want?
Yeah.
The surprise factor? Okay, number 4, maybe a little surprising. But I hear dad bods are cool. as you said, only 50% were wearing the swim shirts down in Bend. The other 50% that you used to be in, kind of the Dan Bod
Letting it
guys.
fly.
And, when Kyle hit his bomb and they ripped his shirt off, he's proud of it. Got a little bit of the Pete Alonso polar bear look going on, right? Yeah, a little. I must say Kyle shirt off because he just rocks it with absolute
They've been
pride.
showing that. I got to tell you, they keep showing that picture on the screen on Root of him like with his shirt open.
Sure.
I'd be uncomfortable with that if I were
Would you?
Cal. Yeah.
Why?
Don't put that picture
Dude,
up
he
there.
had his head shaved, ripped his shirt off. You think he cares?
Yeah. I do.
I don't think he does.
Well, maybe I'm projecting. I would care
Shirtless
if I were him.
bobblehead incoming.
Yeah, I would care.
Yeah. A little bit of the taco meat. I don't think he cares.
He should.
Okay. Number 3. I'm going to shift gears a little bit to Jesus Shuttleworth. Ray Allen was just,
Specimen.
just body beautiful. And maybe even more the calves. To be honest, I think my calf infatuation.
Yeah, this isn't about that.
Started with Ray.
Yeah.
But just lean, beautiful. Yeah, Ray Allen, number 3. Okay, number 2.
Why are we doing this?
It's hysterical.
Why are we doing this? Play the Mora cut, for crying out loud. Why are we doing this? Can you play the cut again, please?
I mean, have you guys seen Ken Walker?
I don't think we're going to need that cut anymore after you. So why don't you continue?
Number 2, Sean Springs. Adonis. Like if you were to put together a football player, kind of like Cam, before him was Sean. Sean was like a 6'3", 215-pound, just mannequin. He was a mannequin. So he would be number 2. And then because this is getting a little bit uncomfortable, we know who number 1 is. Like when he, came in the room, like if it's uncomfortable for me, do you think in a professional interview setting, I would ask somebody to take their shirt off?
Yes,
Absolutely
I do.
not.
I do.
No, I would.
I do think so.
100% no.
I think you would.
I want my job. I would not do that. I love my job. Could not do that. Would not do that. Should not do that. Did the Seahawks do that with DK? Yes. And then did Pete take his shirt off? Yes, he did. DK Metcalf is just.
Can you imagine another job interview where both people rip their shirts off?
Well, we saw the RNC. I mean, like the Hulkster did it.
Ripping shirts.
Yeah, we got sex appeal and trees.
What was that from?
I don't know.
Why do we have sex appeal and trees?
That drop safe for Brock.
From when?
Yeah, my old UW teammates texted me, Tony Parrish. He was on my honorable mention. Tony would, he was very proud.
Nobody's going to beat DK. I've said this before. DK is the best physical specimen in anyone's ever seen.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody built like him.
It's drawing muscles.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he's an action figure.
Yep.
He's like an action figure.
Yes, he is.
Not like one of those little army guys that we were talking about earlier. All right, that's ranked today. Thank you, Brock, I guess.
You're welcome.
It's odd.
Thanks, Maura. Thanks for taking our mind off the Mariners.
That was a weird experience in general.
I got your back anytime, guys.
Everything about that was very strange.
I mean, seriously, can we
tub comment and everything?
Can we thank Maura seriously for some of the joy she did bring today?
Yes, thank you, Maura. Thank you for the joy.
Yep. Take our mind
You're
off.
truly welcome.
Some of the Mariners' offensive woes and struggles.
Thank you for creating such mirth, such joy. like Passan's dog. Hey, guess what? Seahawks practice tomorrow. That's pretty exciting. Mariners will, I don't know what the heck's going to happen tonight. It'll be interesting. I
Probably
gotta
put
watch.
up like a 15 spot, right?
Tell you what, I might just go play golf today. Seems
Again?
Yeah. That seems like the best way to prepare for this. My kids are out of town. My wife's walking around Green Lake with her weighted vest. I'm not sleeping well because I don't have a good pillow.
Life's hard.
Life's hard, man. Life's hard. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Stick around for Bump and Stacy next. Until then, the hay.
Barn.
It's in the barn. See you, everybody.
Get to the chopper! Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
How does management view this team now? Are they looking at this team and saying, man, don't matter what we add, we don't really have the firepower to make a push? Or are they looking at this team and saying, all right, we didn't equip them. We didn't give them the artillery, the arsenal that they needed to really stay in the fight. Let's go ahead and get it because they've shown us at some point in the season they can handle it a little bit.
The Mariners lead the league in quality starts. You have an amazing pitching staff. Don't punt on this season because you don't have the offense that you want.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
I don't want to dig up my yard if I don't have to. That's why I hired O'Neill Plumbing. They're Seattle's trenchless plumbing pros. All rooter, all trenchless, always professional. O'Neill Plumbing since 1917.
Kick off summer by checking out the incredible showroom at Toyota of Kirkland. With a wide selection of Camrys on the lot, including the brand new 2025 Hybrid Camry, along with the new inventory of Tundras and Tacomas. All with a lifetime powertrain warranty, you're in for a summer to remember. The unbeatable team at Toyota of Kirkland will set up your test drive, and you can take that car home the same day. Get your summer groove on at Toyota of Kirkland or visit online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
Discover the ultimate diamond buying experience. Unparalleled quality at unbeatable prices.
Hi, I'm Diamond Dave of Cantor Diamond. At our by appointment office, you'll receive truly personalized one-on-one service to your needs.
No high overhead of standalone stores or mall hours to pay for. We're direct diamond importers designing and manufacturing in-house, eliminating all the middlemen.
Stop overpaying at retail and enjoy serious savings on quality diamonds.
From the first consult to the final reveal, we guide you through every step, ensuring you get your dream diamond ring, necklace, or earrings without compromise.
Romantic proposals, anniversary splurges, or just because. Indulge in diamonds for less.
Call today for your private appointment for a dazzling diamond.
Call Diamond Dave at 253-272-7007. That's 253-272-7007. Or follow them on Instagram at Cantor Diamond. That's